What's up? Hey!
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Tys.
What's happening, man?
Oh, not much.
Not much?
Not much. I'm good.
We're back for another episode of Nick, Tys and Videotape.
Oh, imagine if that had like a theme song.
Oh, yeah. We could probably whip something
80s,
up.
Though.
It would have to be 80s
like
as
really
fuck.
80s,
like
yeah.
so much synth in that shit.
I want a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll fix something out one day.
We'll call Daft Punk, see what they're doing.
Sure, they'd be more than happy to.
To have you two guys from Australia do their podcast thing.
Yeah, man. Well, actually, it sounds like something they'd fucking do, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could probably ask them and they'd be like, it's just weird enough for them to go, yeah, we're going to do
sure.
that.
You know what?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah, good point.
Hey, Nick, why don't you tell some people where you can find us online?
Oh, online? You can find us where all good podcasts are sold. You can find us on InTune Radio, Stitcher.
Excuse me, on what?
Tune In Radio. There you go. Jeez, every week, man. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it down.
Yeah.
And of course, iTunes, where if you are liking what you hear, why not write a review? Why not write what you like?
Yeah.
About us.
Give us a rating. Thank you to the people that have rated us already and reviewed us already. We've had a couple of ratings on Facebook as well, which is really nice.
We have.
If you happen to be one of those people, can you do that on the iTunes store, though?
Please.
Because the Facebook doesn't matter.
Doesn't count.
On iTunes, it matters.
Yeah, iTunes, it matters. It's all well and good, but we
like,
love
we really
you,
appreciate it. It's
love
really
you.
awesome.
We love you. Yeah,
but fucking do it properly.
But yeah, you can email us if you would like at Nick, Tys and Videotape at gmail.com.
That's the one.
Yeah. You can follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, we get all the tweets.
Yeah, we do.
We do a lot of tweets. And there's the old facey.
Yeah, and in any of those platforms you can send us a message, really. So
absolutely,
it doesn't have to be exclusively on the email. You can send us things over Messenger on Facebook.
But if you do want to be anonymous, you can email us.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't be anonymous. Why not stick your head out
Set up
there?
a fake email account.
Sure.
And,
sure.
Some
We've had
weird,
some correspondence though, Tys, which we'll get to.
Catfish us?
You can catfish us.
I do love a good catfish.
Do you watch that TV show?
No, I don't watch the TV show. I watched the movie.
I watched the movie
too. I loved the movie.
I love the movie.
I think the movie's excellent.
Total boss. I was totally in. I thought it was that trailer. I thought it was a horror movie.
They really set it up
like
a horror movie.
That was
did
great.
Very well.
To be honest, I didn't
But
care.
that's why they got those guys. They made the only good Paranormal Activity sequel.
That's true.
The fourth one.
Oh, was it the fourth?
Haven't there been like? There's been like 14 now.
I'm pretty sure there's 6. Yeah. We don't care about Paranormal Activity.
No.
We don't. It's become a laughingstock.
But apparently they directed the only good one of the sequels.
Oh, I stopped at 3 because I heard 3 was. Who cares about that? Seriously, no one cares.
No one cares.
3, Nick?
No, do you know what? This is the thing. People do care.
Do they?
Yeah, people still go see those things, man. That first one.
Who are these people? That first one was good. It had a good premise. Sure. Leave it at that. You don't. Tys is not in.
What?
Tys doesn't care.
No, you think people are going to leave it at that? You think people are going to... You think you can make a movie for 50 grand...
But people will live...
$100 million box office and they're just going to go, no, we don't need to make sequels
exactly,
for that.
because
that's
of the
fine.
box office, that's why they milk it like a cow. Hence why we've got a Cars fucking 3 for crying out loud. Cars
That's why we
3?
have a Fast and Furious 8.
Yeah!
Do you know what blows my mind?
And a
that the
Sex
Fate
and the
of the
City
Furious.
2.
Yeah, exactly. But how in
The
God's
Fate,
name is
yeah.
the Fate of the Furious not spelled F figure 8
Oh, 8.
of the
Wasn't
Furious?
that on the poster, though?
No.
Was that on the poster?
It's always
I'm sure it was
Fate,
on the poster.
F-A-T-E. And I'm like, dudes, come on.
Yeah.
Like...
Come on.
You're ruining
this for me.
out.
You're missing out on a rad opportunity.
Such an opportunity.
Fucking hell.
Because that's why that must be why they called it Fate. Because the title makes no sense.
We've got the 8 in there. Is it the 8th? It's the 8th Fast.
It's the 8th movie.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What are you people doing?
Wasting everybody's time. Do you know what I find funny
it
about
is.
this
One,
series
yeah.
of movies? Is that, right, like at the moment,
Yep.
like I haven't seen 7 or the most recent one. So even up to 6.
Wow.
We are suddenly talking about the Furious crew.
Yep.
Like they are
The Avengers.
the Avengers, right? You watch the first movie,
Yeah.
they're fucking stealing like DVD players.
Yeah. They're old school.
And then in the 6th one, it's like you need to steal this fucking like end of world device.
Oh, really?
That has all the nuclear codes and shit. Well, it had a really weird name. It had like it's like the rabbit's foot from that Mission Impossible movie. It had one of those fucking dumb names.
It's my favorite movie.
God's hand or God's eye or some shit. I'm like, these dudes botched a fucking DVD player robbery. Only 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Who
man.
are these people?
Hey, they've come up in the world.
Yeah, they have. They've learned some tricks.
Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast 9. Jesus Christ.
They're not calling Fast 9.
Fast 9.
It'll be something else.
For 2019.
Yeah,
Fast
yeah.
9.
That will apparently 9 and 10 are coming. Yeah.
Why?
But they have to come up with cool names for them.
But as a producer, like if you're cashing this in, Tys, as if you're not going to just keep punching this out, because right now it is the biggest box office right now.
So look, it was always going to make $1 billion.
$1 billion.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it
sure.
blows my mind that this movie series that legitimately bombed out at 3 and 4,
Yeah,
and people
man.
were like, "Yeah, this is on
We're
its last
done.
legs."
We're done here, yeah.
Is it its 8th movie and is making over $1 billion at the box office?
$1 billion.
It makes no sense to me.
It makes total sense.
Nobody knows anything in Hollywood. Like, anyone who says they understand trends and they understand how people think, they're all full of shit. No one predicted this.
I think the Fast and the Furious movies knows what it is. It knows that it's guy trash, and it doesn't try to make it, it doesn't try to make it Schindler's List. Do you know what I mean? They know what they're doing. They're going to chuck in some puns. They're going to have some rad, action sequences. And at the end of the day, hey, they bring in $1 billion. Fucking $1 billion. All right.
I'll take $1 billion for writing some movie about cars.
Exactly. $1 billion.
Fuck me.
Anyway. We talked way too long about Fast and the Furious.
I got old man
You
then.
got old
like
man,
I was
you
like
did.
I actually envisioned what $1 billion would look like, and I just my brain melted because it was like, no, cannot commute,
Stop.
compute.
Cannot commute. I can't commute over there.
I can't
get
actually
over
get
there. I don't have a
around the
car.
$1 billion because I don't have enough petrol to drive around it.
You don't have the Fast and Furious car.
That's the problem. Hey man,
Hey buddy.
let's talk some trailers.
All right, fair enough.
Everybody's talking
Trailers.
So what did you...
Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, why
I
don't
only
you go
have
first?
one this week.
Oh, I've
Tys.
only got one.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a slow week.
Well, why don't you go first? I
Okay,
wanna
I'll
hear
go.
yours
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I watched a trailer for a movie called Once Upon a Time in Venice. Did you see this trailer?
Oh, I saw the poster.
So, this looks like an interesting movie.
Go on.
At the moment, in the past however many years, Bruce Willis has become a little bit of a joke, I think.
I don't like this.
I don't like it at all either because I love Bruce
Who
Willis.
doesn't love Bruce Willis?
And he has started to become a bit of a...
He's kind of cashing it in, isn't
a bit
he?
of a Nick Cage, a bit of a John Cusack,
Yeah.
a bit of a I'll do anything as long as I don't have to work for more than 3 days. I don't have to leave the one set, and I can wear my own clothes.
Exactly.
Like,
Oh, that's horrible.
And he's been popping up in quite a few direct
Directed
to video,
yeah.
or whatever.
I love that we still call it
well,
that.
that's
We're
it.
going to still call it that
We'll
on Nick
still call
Tys and Videotape.
Um,
I'm up for that.
Yeah, DTV action films.
Sure.
Where he will be like the bad guy,
Oh.
or he will be like the boss of the CIA or something.
terrible
Basically, any role that he
names,
can
man.
literally phone in because he spends most of the time on the phone talking to the protagonist, he's up for. And so it's become, I'm a bit upset about what's happened to Bruce Willis because every now and then he'll do something great. Like he was amazing in Moonrise Kingdom,
Amazing.
which was recent and
Yeah.
like, I don't know, what was that?
2012.
Okay, so that was relatively recent, but
Yeah.
he actually tried to do something,
Yeah.
so it was really
He was,
enjoyable.
yeah.
The
doing
last
something out
Die
of the
Hard
norm.
was
We're not gonna
not
talk
a
about
good
that.
film,
We're not
but
gonna talk
at
about
least he was kind of. It looked like he got out of bed and wanted to make at least wanted to try and make a movie.
And
Like,
in between them was Looper.
and Looper's a fucking
That was one where he
amazing
was like,
film. I
okay,
love
well,
it.
I've got something to use, you know.
So this film,
since
I'm
then-
not quite sure if this is going to be the remedy to this,
Right.
but it does look like he is at least trying.
Okay.
It looks to be a kind of comedic crime caper
Okay.
about a man whose dog is kidnapped and The poster is something
not-
funny like "You don't mess with a man's dog" or something, and
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
he's got a massive shotgun and a
he's-
little
yeah.
dog in the corner. What
so
the hell?
It looks like it could be kind of
That was the.
fun.
I saw that poster and I didn't watch the trailer
Sure.
because the poster looked like a straight
The
to
trailer
DVD.
gave me a few giggles. Jason Momoa is in it as
Yeah.
well, and he's playing
Awesome.
like a Latin gangster. So that real kind of like,
okay.
The mustache and the white singlet,
The wife beater.
the white wife beater. Singlet and the jeans, and
Yeah.
calling everyone SA and everything, know, which it's very funny. Momoa is doing a very good job of it. He's really quite funny.
Yeah.
And there's a few giggles in it. John Goodman doesn't usually do shit, so
I love John Goodman.
it gives me a
And
little
I love
bit
that
of
John Goodman doesn't do shit.
no. He's usually very picky, and
Yeah.
because. If you can go and do a gig with the Coen brothers whenever you want, why
As
do a
if they're
shit
not gonna-
film?
Do you think?
Like-
Can I ask you a question? Do you
Yeah.
think that they like ring him up, like they go, or he rings them up and go, "Hey, what are you doing
No, they'll call-
next year?"
I reckon they
during
just
August.
they just know when they're writing films.
Oh, by
They
the
just
way,
go,
John, we've got
we're
a
gonna
part
get
for you."
we're gonna get John Goodman to play this one.
Yeah.
Do
Do you think that happens?
Yeah, I 100% think that
Yeah.
happens.
It would have to on some level.
Yeah, because they know exactly what they're going to get from him,
God, he's
which
good.
is excellence.
Yeah.
So why fuck that up? It's like John Turturro and stuff. Like
Yeah,
they
exactly.
know
And
know what they're
Steve
going to get
Buscemi-
from
Steve
him.
Buscemi's not in enough.
But
yeah.
they know they're going to get gold. So why fuck with it?
Exactly. Good point.
So
But yeah.
so it looks kind of funny, man. I had a bit of a giggle. It's directed by the guys that wrote Cop Out, which was not a good movie.
Oh.
The
You've
Kevin Smith.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
Yeah. What are you thinking of? Have I
Sorry.
got the title wrong?
No,
It's
no,
called
no.
Cop Out, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of what is the newest movie that everyone's going nuts over? Get Out?
Oh, Get Out. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's definitely
Sorry,
not that.
it's not that.
That's Jordan Peele of
Yes.
Key and Peele
Yeah,
fame,
yeah.
who's I love their fucking sketch show so much, and I'm so pumped to see this movie because everyone says it's outstanding.
Everyone's saying that it's insane.
So I can't wait to see that. No, Cop Out, the Kevin Smith comedy with Bruce Willis and Tracy Jordan.
Right.
Tracy Morgan?
Tracy Morgan.
Which one? Hang on.
Morgan.
He's Morgan in real life, Jordan on 30 Rock.
I don't watch 30 Rock, but
Oh,
it's
that's
Tracy
the same.
Morgan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which was not good.
No, I didn't watch it.
so-
Well, I don't like Tracy Morgan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's an acquired
Yeah.
taste. I
Yeah.
say that. So I had a giggle. I don't think it's going to be the full recovery of Bruce Willis that we'd all just cross our
That we'd
fingers and
love
hope that
to
will come
hope to
soon.
get back. Yep.
So he just needs to do a big budget movie so that he gets his bills paid, because this is what it feels like. It feels
That's
like
what it is.
And,
I don't want
I feel
him to
bad for
do
these
that.
guys because he needs, I get it. He needs to work.
yeah.
These guys need to work to pay their bills. They've got these fucking mansions, man. They've got upkeep. They've got staff. They've got to keep up
Gardens,
a
man.
reputation
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So they can't just suddenly go, oh, I'm going to downsize to a one-bedroom unit.
That's why fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger is doing the fucking Apprentice.
Exactly. Everyone has to work,
Oh.
right?
Right.
So I want Bruce Willis. I want him to work. I want him to work in things where it's deserved of
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah. And this is why I think a lot of stars of that genre are doing, or not of that, are doing some TV shows
Yep.
where they can, get the bills paid via that.
Kind of consistently.
Exactly.
Because if you get a show picked up, like this is man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You got to think, like, the guys from Friends were making $1 million an ep by season 10 or whatever they were up to.
Yeah.
$1 million an episode.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Yeah.
that's good work.
Yeah.
As if you wouldn't take that work. You're set for life.
Absolutely.
Set for life.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so I really hope that this is a step in the right direction for Bruce.
Go Bruce Willis.
Because
We're all cheering for you.
I'd hate more than anything to see him fizzle out.
Do you think
at
he
the
would
end
get
of his
to
life.
the Seagal Van Damme standard? I don't want to.
He's worse than that because he's not starring in these movies at the moment.
No, but I think he does that on purpose. I think he goes, no, I'll just.
But that's at least when, like, say what you want about Seagal, he's a piece of shit.
Right.
And basically rolls up in his trench coat, stands in the fighting position, and then goes, "Can you just film around this?
What? Let's shoot.
I'm
it
just
going to
wave my arm around
Shoot
a
it
couple
from
of
the back,
times. Just
yeah.
you work your magic." But, Van Damme,
At least
they
he
might
gets
not be
in
great
there.
quality films, but
Exactly.
he's in there, man.
He's
He's
in
in there. He's doing the stunts. He's doing the fighting. Like, you look at someone like Michael J. White as well.
Yeah,
right?
man.
I've seen a fair more of his movies than I probably should have because
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of him. I think
Yeah.
he's a really charismatic presence.
Yeah.
Even his pieces of shit films. Like, I watched this thing called Falcon Rising or something. And it was really hard to get through because the story was incredibly generic. It was like an 80s, typical 80s martial arts action film, but made 4 years ago.
Oh,
but
right.
it was all, the shit acting, the shit really predictable plot, and some good fight scenes scattered around it.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's getting up. He's choreoing this stuff. He's keeping in shape. He's trying to,
He's working.
He's working
for this stuff. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I don't like about what Bruce Willis is doing now.
Right.
He's not
cashing.
working.
No, he's cashing.
He's
It
basically just going, what is the
My-
least amount I can do?
is. Yeah.
So let's get the
My
guy
name is
some...
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Let's get some material worthy of his skills, and let's get him kind of inspired again to maybe do some better work.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, I've talked about that enough. What did you say?
I saw a trailer that I really would like you to see, actually, Tys.
Okay.
The trailer's about a doco called Score. Now, this is...
Sure.
It's about scoring films. And
How do I not know this film exists?
I don't know.
What have I been
To be
doing
honest, it
with
was
my whole
made
life?
last year, Tyson.
Where the fuck have I been?
Well, this is the thing. You don't hear about documentaries enough. People aren't going to look out for a documentary unless it's, just watching this trailer. The names that this guy, I don't know, Matt Schreider, this is his first film.
Okay.
I had to look him up. This is his first film, and the names that he's got, Tyson, just to talk about what a score does.
Oh man, if you're going to do a doco about film scoring,
Exactly,
you've got to
yeah.
get the best of the best.
So he's got John Williams, he's got
course he does.
Hans Zimmer, he's got Thomas Newman, he's got Quincy Jones, he's got Howard Shore, he's got Trent Reznor, he's got Danny Elfman, and those are just the composers. They've got directors as well. Talking.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah,
that's a good lineup.
Yeah,
That's a really good lineup.
But it just
and look, there's good. Yeah, it seems to be a good kind of grasp of different styles there as well.
exactly,
which is good.
yeah. So yeah, what the trailer showed was creating a score. It's the flavor of the movie. Like a score to me has the influence to garner such a powerful reaction.
Shit, yeah.
Whether it be, amazing action or you get the right score and the entire audience bursts into tears. Do you know what I mean? Like it has that power, and that's what they talk about throughout this trailer and probably more in the movie. But yeah, to me, watching this and watching the amount of makings of and all of that stuff that we've seen on special features.
Sure.
When it comes to the score, because learning about what we know about cinema and all that stuff and what you find out, creating the score for me is probably the most daunting thing ever. I feel that to understand what most aspects of I understand what most aspects of film are, but I wouldn't know how to start. Where do you start to create a score for a film? Do you know what I mean? Because they're making something out of nothing. Like it's just...
but where would you start to write? I mean, this is...
But at least that's...
So I've done some kind of...
Well, this is why I want
short
to talk
films
about
and
it.
things.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of scoring before in my day. So I can kind of... I get what you're saying, and it is incredibly daunting, but it's funny because in each of the circumstances, and it's only... Like, I've only done a handful, but I've never had to search for the inspiration.
Right.
Like, from watching... They've been short films, so you watch, a 10 to 11 minute film.
Yep.
You watch it 3 times, and you just start to hear what you want to be there, what you think will work there, and then you just build it from there. It's just probably a different. It would just be a different skill set, I think. And these looking at what some of these guys do, I find daunting as shit. Like I could never. I know for a fact I could never write something as effective as, Vader's theme. Like I just don't think I could put those 5 or 6 notes together in that order that effectively.
So good.
and that's what makes these guys so great at what they do.
It really is. It really is. So I just wanted to, while we're talking about this, do you have a score? Do you have a score that you have in your head that isn't John Williams' Superman theme? Because I know for a fact that if I'm having a really shit day, I will play that theme.
Sure.
And I feel instantly better.
I'm funny with scores because I have a few on my iTunes, like quite a few, I guess.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And they're not necessarily... What I don't do well is separate the score from the film that it accompanies.
Yeah,
so
I'm the same.
I like a score because of the way it's used in the film. Mm-hmm. I think most scores... the people that are working in the industry are very accomplished people.
Absolutely.
And so there will be musical merit to pretty much any score that exists, I think. Like, you'd have to dig pretty deep to find ones that have no musical redemptive factors whatsoever. Nothing at all to talk about it on a musical level.
Yeah.
But I can't listen to a score without... Like, I would never listen to a score before I watch the film. You know how they release the score like a week early?
Yeah, no, that's almost blasphemous.
I'm not interested in that at all. Like, it could be the most beautiful music ever, but
I'm not gonna listen.
What makes a score effective to me is its relationship with the film.
Which is why when the Bond theme comes out before the movie, they've done that. I'm like, I'm not going to ruin it. What are you, insane?
It's really weird.
Like,
yeah, I don't.
They have made this theme for this,
Yeah, the enjoyment of that is watching that while all the fucking lava lamp,
absolutely
silhouette shit
of
is
happening.
Like, because that's the James Bond experience,
exactly.
Man. So yeah, I don't want to watch a weird bad film clip,
or just listen to it. I'm not going to have the beautiful melding together of what we're watching.
And that's a very good example of what I think works. But as far as
you don't have one that sticks out.
I really like I don't have a favorite composer of film scores. I have probably 5 or 6 that I think are excellent. But consistently, if we're not counting John Williams, because he is the man. What he does is
literally from Star Wars to Indiana Jones to Superman.
It's impossible to describe
Jaws,
the significance and weight of his contribution to film. Like, there's just no way. Like,
you can't.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Imagine a world without John Williams.
Fuck. What a sad, horrible world.
I'd probably say Thomas Newman. I think is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
And mostly because they are such polar opposites of each other. Thomas Newman, I finds
it's just
simplistic beauty. John Williams is about bombast and just fucking adrenaline pumping and all that kind of stuff, and like dragging tears out of your face with these beautiful lyrical melodies. Yeah. Whereas Thomas Newman is like, he picks 3 notes and just lets them hang in the air. Yeah. And I really like his choices are really, really great. Yeah. I think his Road to Perdition score might be my favorite.
Nice. I love his American Beauty though.
But that's kind of taken a bit of a life of its own now, because American Beauty was such a cultural impact.
Yeah, it was.
So you almost listen to it now and kind of it's not tainted, but it's hard.
But it's hard. Yeah, I understand.
Do you know what I mean? It's hard to see it as just a beautiful piece of music accompanying a great moment in film now, because American Beauty is such a thing where it's like, and people don't think it's as good as it was back then, and so it's now kind of like, is it kind of hackneyed and stuff?
It's not.
I think it's beautiful, but
it's still amazing.
I think it's a toss up between that and Shawshank. I think his Shawshank stuff is really lovely. As far as like crazy like energetic score though, it's the Horner cue from Aliens that gets used in basically all those other trailers. One.
Yeah.
Which I think is like, there's a reason why everyone wants to use it in their trailers, because it is the perfection of build up in that fucking that cue. It's amazing.
But how good is... I just want to... I know we've talked about him and he is the best, but John Williams' score for Superman, because we are such fans, that score says Superman in that score. Like that... like the takeoff. That is him taking off.
He understands. He understands so much about what he's trying to do, John Williams. It makes him so effective. And if you've got any kind of little lesser known composers that are kind of coming up through the ranks at the moment.
Yeah.
We'd
That
love
do
to
little
talk about them.
indie stuff.
Yeah, doing the
hell
indie
yeah.
stuff because you sometimes you just don't get the opportunity to pay that much attention to them.
Absolutely.
We should move on because we are spending a lot of time on
We
this and
are.
we've got a lot to talk about today.
Damn it.
Let's go.
What did you watch this week?
Let's go to what did you watch this week? All right, I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do them super quick.
Oh,
though.
cool. I've only got one.
All right, sick. I'll
Go
do
for it.
my first one first.
Cool.
I saw Finding Dory.
Oh,
This week.
Okay.
And I just want to say that it was fine. It was. It belongs very much in the
lower tier of
middle to lower tier of Pixar stuff.
Fair deal.
Which is
Well, it's
better
a
than most
sequel.
other stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
But it was perfectly enjoyable.
I was thinking about Bug's Life yesterday.
Yeah, see, Bug's Life I think
I
might
love
be a
Bug's
notch
Life.
above this level.
Yeah.
This level sits around the Cars
Yeah.
2.
I've never seen any of the Cars. I should watch them.
Monsters University.
I love Monsters University.
But it was totally fine.
It was, but it wasn't
It's-
Monsters.
but
Inc.
it's not on the
It's
level
not
of any
Monsters
of the
Inc.
of
No,
any
the
of the other
originals.
ones.
No.
And this is the thing: Finding Dory is perfectly fine. There is
Right.
nothing wrong with it. It is there are some really nice emotional moments.
Yep.
It's just not up to their usual standard.
Yeah. Fair deal. I
and-
will say a little bit about it because
Yeah.
I did watch this movie. I didn't watch this movie. I watched 10 minutes, Tys, because it was way too emotional at the start. Nick turned it off because he was already bawling his tears out.
I said this to my partner.
Literally
Emma.
tears. My wife went, okay, sorry.
We started
and turned it off.
We were watching it, and we both said, "Oh my god, I'm going to lose my shit
not
at
up
this
for it.
film.
I'm
I don't know
not-
if we can do it."
Yeah.
because the baby Dory is the most
I could-
heart wrenching thing I've ever seen. And
Like it was harder than Finding Nemo. That
and I
start
actually
for
said
me.
it when she finally grew up, like
Yeah.
about 4.5 minutes into the movie,
Oh,
when she
wow, yeah.
became like a teenager and her voice changed and her eyeballs became normal size.
Yeah.
I leant over to Emma and I was like, "Thank fuck for that." I could not handle too much more of that because I was just gonna break down.
Yeah.
It was.
I full man cried.
Yeah.
10 minutes into Finding Dory.
God.
Just like Up, I was all over the place.
They know how to do it.
Jesus.
And look, and the thing about the film itself is that is the power of Pixar's emotional manipulation. They are excellent at it.
Jesus.
They know exactly what they're doing.
It's way too hard.
But the film itself doesn't
Didn't.
warrant that. I don't
Yeah,
think. I
fair deal.
think there's nothing else in the later part. Like it's got a really nice message. It's
Yeah.
it's all fine. Your family is where you make of it and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And just that to me spoke of weightier themes that didn't end up happening in the rest of the film, and so they kind of reflected worse on the opening because now you were like, well, you were just being fuckwits now, making me fucking feel like shit. Watching the first
Why
10
did
minutes
you
of
do that
this,
to me?
making me
We'll
want to
get
cry
fucked.
my eyes out.
Yeah, fair deal.
Something like Up, the emotional payoff is it's not just about those first 10 minutes.
It's not. No.
Those first 10 minutes reflect everything that happens in the rest of the film, and it
Comes
then
quietly to an end, like it's a nice finish.
Yeah,
It does it
what
well.
happens, what results in that film is very much related to what happened in that first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Not that this is related plot-wise, but not as strongly emotionally, I don't
know
think.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what you get with a sequel. Like, I've always been skeptical of Pixar's sequels, and Toy Story is a really good example because it's given me a 180 every time. I keep going, there is no way you can do a Toy Story 3. Get absolutely fucked. And that was probably Toy Story 3 was the one
Might
where
be
I
my
was like,
favourite of them.
oh my God, this was,
Yeah.
and it was such a beautiful ending to absolutely everything that now that they're doing a 4, I'm like, no, come on.
Yeah, it's a shame that
don't do this.
they so perfectly capped that series.
Like you can't write an ending that better to us,
No.
like a trilogy. Perfect. That's
It,
rare.
it was, yeah. It really
That is
was
rare.
Anyway, well, yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
what they do. We'll see what they do. All right, what did you watch?
I watched Moneyball.
Hey,
I rewatched Moneyball. Sorry.
Sick.
Yeah. And geez, it was good. Like
what a great fucking movie.
God, it's just really it's a movie where you just take a really good script. You have no CG. And you let it play, and that's it. And that's.
I reckon
that's
there'd be some CG in there. I reckon there'd be some.
Really?
Yeah. I reckon,
maybe some
I reckon they'd do
rendering with the
all the
stadiums
stadium
and all
renderings
that
and
stuff.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Make it a
But
little bit
yeah,
fancier.
if you haven't seen Moneyball. If you don't know what it is, it's about a baseball manager that uses a computer-generated analysis to change the way players are picked for a team of baseball. Now, pardon me, the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because watching it, not only is it a great film about baseball, but watching it, I felt that it was so relevant to most of the world's issues. So because what happens to Brad Pitt in this is that he goes to a circle of a table of established men who have have their job. They've been stuck in this role for so long and they don't want to change. And
mostly cast by actual baseball analysis scouts people, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that was really good. But yeah, the people in power are not wanting to entertain even the idea of something new. And I feel like that is so relevant with where the world is right now.
Yeah.
We are going fucking backwards fast. We really are. If we could just, I don't want to, no, but just, if the zombie apocalypse is going to happen, let it happen. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just a month of zombie apocalypse, we'll get rid of the naff.
I think, look, it's it's an interesting point because we trying to adjust to change is obviously.
It's hard. It's hard for me. Like even, changing the norm for yourself or just moving on. But if we don't change, then we're not going to going to survive.
We will never grow. We will never learn. We will never develop.
Exactly.
It's a incredibly good film.
Yeah, amazing.
I came to it very late. I think we might have talked about this.
We did
talk about this. I think I only saw it this year and for the first time.
Oh, nice.
And in hindsight, I think I would end up championing that film more so than the films it was up against that year.
Yeah, it was.
Was it The Artist here? Was it The Artist?
I think it was The Artist, actually. Yeah. But yeah, Moneyball. It was really good. Director is Bennett Miller. He did Capote and Foxcatcher, which I'm a huge fan of Foxcatcher.
I thought Foxcatcher was excellent.
Oh, yeah. It
Excellent.
didn't... It's not action-packed, Foxcatcher, but Jesus, is it intense. But yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and lastly, I just want to talk about a movie that I watched just last night.
Ooh.
It was a movie called Invincible. Now, I need to talk... It's funny that we've brought this up because we've both done sports-related movies.
Oh, okay.
Mark
Wahlberg,
I am a
Invincible?
sucker. This movie's from 2006. I am a sucker for sports dramas. It is
Me
my
too.
secret kind of...
Yeah.
I will watch anything that is a sports drama.
Okay.
And I don't know why. Look,
Any sport?
I'm a sport fan.
Any sport?
Yeah, any sport.
Really?
Any sport. Do you know what I haven't watched though? I haven't watched the couple of most recent Disney ones.
Oh.
There's one about long distance running, and there was one about baseball, bringing cricket players from India over or Sri Lanka to come and play baseball. Yeah. $1 Million Arm was the baseball one, and McFarland USA was the long distance one, which has my man K Cost, and I didn't go see it.
Oh.
Anyway, this is a Disney production. Invincible. Mark Wahlberg plays a 30-year-old bartender who is very good. Like, he's a good football player, and he plays, street ball, and everyone loves him. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He's in South Philadelphia,
Philly,
born and raised. And they have open tryouts for their team because their team is in up shit creek. They're bombing out hard, and so he goes along and happens to make the team. He makes the first round, and then has to go to the training camp and go from there.
Okay.
It was incredibly effective.
Yeah. Up there with Remember the Titans.
See, I don't love Remember the Titans.
What?
Yeah, I think I like Remember the Titans, but it's definitely not one of that I'll pick out as one of my favorites. Disney had a patch where they would... Well, actually, it's not even just Disney. Mid-2000s.
Yeah. It was nothing but sports.
It was the prime time for sports dramas.
It was, wasn't it?
And I was in heaven, man. I was... Because going back and going through and when you go down the IMDb page to the related,
Related?
more like this.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm
What
like,
have you got?
And I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
I can't
Coach
wait.
Carter?
Coach Carter, I'm a big fan of. We
Yeah.
Are Marshall, I'm a big fan of. Remember the Titans, I quite enjoy. Glory Road was really great. Friday Night Lights was really great.
Amazing.
The Express was really great.
What the hell?
Miracle, wonderful. Like
punching
it was
them out.
this little patch in the mid 2000s where people were just like, "Fucking, let's make a
Let's
sports
do
movie," and I was all over it. And this one, actually, it's funny that I came to this one so late because this is the last of that kind of era, that kind of mid 2000s sport movie that I haven't seen really. I think I've almost seen every other kind of popular one that got a cinematic release.
Gang,
Well, no, because
Blindside.
that's a horse shit.
Oh, that's a
comedy.
horse shit?
Like you don't have to. That's like it.
Oh,
That's like
really?
a Longest Yard remake kind of knockoff.
Right.
So,
Okay.
And Mark Wahlberg is really great in this.
I like Mark Wahlberg.
I think he's great.
We should bring up the big hit again.
The
No, I'm
big hit
kidding,
is
I'm
our
kidding.
fucking white whale of this show.
We're going to post the poster of the big hit because I want
Wait to watch
And
that again.
if you have
and talk
seen it,
about
like it. I want you to like
It's
it.
gonna be so funny.
Everyone like it. If you haven't seen it, see the big hit.
Oh my god, it's so shit. Yeah, and it was really good. The story elements were great. There were moments where
Mark Wahlberg.
that it legitimately was better than it had any right to be. Like,
Oh,
you know, when you
okay.
watch, you settle down for like just a sports drama,
Yeah,
and you're like,
oh,
whatever,
yeah.
it's just going to be what it is.
Yeah.
And then there are
And you're
really
like, this is
nice,
good.
dramatic touches that you go, oh, for fuck's sake! Like, I didn't know I was going to get as invested in this as I am.
Yeah.
It has the guy that played. Remember, if we throw back to our Dawn of the Dead episode,
Oh, go on.
what was the TJ? Was it TJ? Our favorite character from the Dawn of the Dead remake?
Oh, yeah, TJ.
Is it TJ?
Yeah, TJ.
Now I'm doubting
Oh, Michael
that he's-
Kelly. It does.
Yeah.
The actor's name's Michael Kelly.
He pops up in a
Oh,
small
nice.
supporting role, and I was like, yes, yes, he's great.
Fantastic.
Like it's a cast full of that guy, like
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
all their faces. They're just really well made. The production values are always top notch because
Yeah.
they put some money behind them.
Yeah.
You'll usually find a reasonably good leading actor who does a perfectly serviceable job.
That's true.
It may not be one of their great performances, but like Miracle, you got Kurt Russell. This, you had Mark Wahlberg. Titans, you got Denzel.
Carter, you've got Samuel L.
Samuel L. Like you always get this one kind of really good actor to hang the
Friday
show.
Night Lights, Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton is great. Friday Night Lights is probably the best of the lot because it's much more. It's less about the inspirational kind of Disney
it's more
style
of a
story.
Teenager.
Yeah, it's more about the disillusionment of
American
high school football.
Yeah.
So that's
But
obviously that's the Friday Night Lights goal is obviously very different. This is just your straight up inspirational.
Yeah.
Well
Fun.
worth it. I really had a good time.
Yeah, man.
Really got invested in it. And it's just on Netflix.
Oh, is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So give it a watch.
Give
if
it
you're
a watch.
keen. Well, man,
All
I
right,
think it's
Tys.
time we get into our feature presentation.
Yeah.
Take 2, considering last week we had a bit of a fuckery.
That's true.
So now we're actually going to have our conversation about
The double impact.
double impact.
Double impact.
And now for our feature presentation.
Okay. Well, we're back. We're here
We are
talking
here
about
talking about
1991's
the double impact.
Double Impact. JeanClaude Van Damme doing his
The double
thing.
impact.
Well, this was a bit of a
Double
a bit of a
impact?
trip down memory lane.
Was it for you, Tyson? Well,
yeah,
this is
massively. Was this your first viewing?
This was my first viewing.
Get out of town.
Yeah, it was.
That's funny because Van Damme is kind of my.
Yeah, you said last week he's your
Arnie.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Arnie's my Arnie.
Fair enough. No, well, he's the best Arnie.
He is.
Yeah,
But
because-
that's not to say I didn't shy away. I love Van Damme. I love Time Cop, man. It's one of my
yeah.
faves.
Well, it's Time Cop. I've
Bloodsport.
seen a lot, but probably less than most of the others. I reckon.
Yeah, I've seen.
If I had to pick the one I've seen the most, it's Bloodsport.
Oh,
Definitely
really?
Bloodsport. Yeah. Or maybe Cyborg. I've seen Cyborg a lot.
Mine is Time Cop, and then for some reason I watch Double Team way too many
I
times.
have seen Double
than
Team
I should
once,
have.
and I will probably not watch it again. But this is the thing about Van Damme. I'll watch any Van Damme movie once.
Yeah, give it a
I'll
shot.
give it a shot.
Yeah.
Like during we talked about our video store days before.
Yeah.
I would just grab those random direct-to-DVD ones.
Exactly.
And just be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, awesome.
Some movie called In Hell.
Something
I'll
called
watch that.
Legionnaire. Bring it on.
No, I've never seen Legionnaire because I heard it didn't have him like kicking heads.
No.
So I was like, well, I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah, and I watched it and I was like, well, what the hell is
Where's
this?
the split kicks?
Yeah, come on, where's the splits even?
He's playing like a Legionnaire.
A Legionnaire. It was lame. It was so lame. I remember just being bored a lot.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. There are a few Van Damme movies that end up just being really boring.
Yeah.
And
This
you've
was
got to-
definitely not one of them. though.
This is not one of them. This is kind of the peak time. I think
Yeah.
he had about a 10-year stretch where you could legitimately say they were effective action films.
Yeah.
Not even just like in a kind of guilty pleasure way. Like,
yeah.
I think they were legitimately decent action films.
The cover for Sudden Death, is it Sudden Death? Is that a hockey?
That's the one in the hockey
Ice
arena.
hockey? Yeah.
That's of the Die Hard knockoffs, like the Die Hard on a whatever that existed all through the 90s.
Yeah.
It's one of the best ones,
Yeah.
I think. That and Under Siege are probably the two most effective Die Hard rip-offs.
I love Under Siege.
Back when
Seagal
Seagal gave
was
a
actually-
shit.
yeah,
like,
exactly.
He was fit and
Yep.
looked after himself and did actual stunts, didn't just do that thing. Have you ever seen where he just kind of waves his hands around now?
God.
Like he just
No,
does this
I
thing
haven't.
where he's kind of like, he just kind of circles his hands. And that's basically the entirety of his fights. And then
But
it
he
cuts
turned
to a
into
stunt man, and then he comes back like he wears these big giant...
He turned into a douche, didn't he? Like that.
Apparently he was always a douche.
Oh, okay.
we
that
were
is not
we were just more
surprising
accepting of him
at
because he
all.
was making reasonably entertaining movies.
Yeah, that's true.
That we didn't care as much.
Yeah, fair deal.
But no, he was apparently
Under
always
Siege, man.
a big old douche bag. But yeah, Van Damme was kind of my dude. So
Yeah, fair deal.
I was pretty excited to revisit this one.
Yeah.
Because it has been a while since I watched it. It was never, you know, actually,
It was never Bloodsport for you?
It was always Bloodsport for me, is what I was saying.
No, but was this at the level of Bloodsport for you?
Oh, it was never at the level of Bloodsport, this
No.
one. Bloodsport, Cyborg, Kickboxer. I think they were the ones that I just...
Was he in Kickboxer 2? Or did he just do 1? And that was
He
it?
was not. Kickboxer 2, The Road Back. No, that had the guy from Step by Step, the sitcom in it. Sasha someone or other.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember him well.
That's weird.
Yeah, that had a brutal final fight, I remember.
In number 2?
In number 2, the fight
Right.
at the end, because they do the
Ooh.
whole glass on the gloves thing again.
Yeah.
And it was it
But
was
they kept the glass on.
Like it was fucked up. I remember it was so much blood. I'd never seen so much blood as a kid. I was like, there's just everywhere. There's just blood everywhere.
Well, I came to this fresh. And because I'd seen a lot of Van Dammes before, I'd seen a few Van Dammes before, I was like, okay, bit of fun, bring it on. But yeah, it was good. I didn't mind it.
All right, well, thanks for listening, guys. There
Okay,
we go.
see you later. Have a good one. And that was Nick Tys and Videotape.
Yeah,
if you'd like to tune in, Reddit.
Yeah, do you know what? It is... the funny thing about it is I thought it was enjoyable, but I feel like there was less... I thought it was gonna be a bit
more meat.
Actually a bit kind of crazier. I thought it was going to be a bit wilder, a bit looser.
Oh.
It was actually kind of just pretty well put together.
Its
head was screwed on pretty well.
Oh, you thought it was
I
going to
had
be
this memory of it
insane.
being like a bit kind of like, oh fuck, it's crazy, man. Like some real wild shit happens. I'm like watching it going, nah.
Yeah, it was all right.
It's just
It was
kind of
good.
standard.
Yeah.
There is a lot of dumb shit in it. Like I wrote a lot of notes. Like more notes than I think I wrote. Like considering my notes
Wow,
for
those are a
Prestige,
lot of notes.
I've written like 2.5 pages on this
Jesus.
because I kept getting things where I was just like, I could talk about this for a while.
Right.
About just little things that happen in the movie.
Well, I could do that, but I don't like to write notes. I like to concentrate on the big things that have happened and me kind of going, well, what the hell? But I do write little notes at the start. Like I do my little notes where, you know, where one of the bad guys at the start points a shotgun point blank at their mum's face, and I was like, Jesus, maybe I want to talk about that. But and then I look back at my notes and go, well, why would I bring that up?
Well, I will bring this up. Well, look, this is actually one of the few movies that it pays to kind of work through chronologically, I think.
Oh, it does, yes. Yeah.
Because it's just, otherwise you will lose track.
You're kind of all over the shop because there's twins, Tyson.
The twin
there's
babies.
two Van Dams.
I love that the film opens with them as babies.
Yeah, I did like that.
And it is a brutal opening scene.
It is.
When
it's on the level of, or more than on the level of Bruce Wayne's parents. Not to bring it back to superheroes.
It's got a bit of a Bruce Wayne kind of thing going on, and Jeffrey Lewis is a bit of the Alfred of this situation, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, that's what
I'll tell you what, though, the guy playing the dad, he's a shithouse actor. He cannot
start
deliver
when
a
he
line.
goes up to the. Oh, I guess we have to timers or whatever.
I guess it's whatever he says. But when he's in the car and he's even saying, haha, take the night off. It's just like...
I know, it was horrible. I thought he didn't like him.
The most wooden delivery I've ever heard.
Like he gave him a gift, like the cigar box.
The
and
cigar
it was like,
box is lovely.
That's very lovely.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
There's no cigars in there, but yes, well done.
And Jeffrey Lewis is just such a naturally kind of charismatic guy, and he's got
awesome.
real charm, and he's just kind of, he seems like a lovable kind of guy.
Exactly. Bit of a shit bodyguard, though.
Yeah, well.
Shit.
I'm like, seriously, no one, someone says, take the night off, you go, yeah, sure, mate, but you keep following.
Exactly.
If you know how to do your job well, you do not just go, I'm going to go, hit the bars.
Pokies.
Yeah, hit the pokies. I'm going to take this week's check. I'm going to go
hit the pokies.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a beer, have a poke.
Exactly. Not going to have a poke like that.
No, that's different.
But totally.
Yeah, no, shithouse bodyguard.
Bodyguard.
He pays for it too.
Dude.
Because, man,
you die in the
that
house.
woman,
Well,
she gets her brain... like sprayed out. Did you see on the shot where it cuts back to the carnage?
No, I did. Oh, yes, I did.
When Jeffrey Lewis kind of sees them.
Blood on the white dress.
There's blood on the white dress, but there's leaked brain on the.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's intense, man.
Damn.
This is when it pays to watch in HD on a big television because I'm like, well, that's brain. I can see the brain. It's some good stuff.
Well, that's brain.
Thanks to that.
I can see the
full
brain. That's
4K
awesome.
brain.
4K.
Yeah. Tell you what though, I fucking love. Bolo Yong. I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, I had to write it down. That man is frightening.
It's such an incredibly intimidating
He is
person.
scary.
Apparently, the loveliest man in the world.
Really?
I remember reading a lot about him. Him and
Van
JeanClaude
Damme
were very good friends.
Yeah.
And is apparently just this big, lovable man. But
when he widens his eyes, I'm like, dude, I'm petrified of you.
he just has this amazing... And look, his physical presence is so strange because he's kind of fat.
Puffy? Yeah, he's puffy.
But at the same time, I look at him and go, oh, he's a bit fat. But then you look at him without his shirt on, you're like, maybe that's just all muscle and you're just ginormous.
Yeah. The V on a man from
how do you
his
work
lats.
those muscles?
Those lats?
Are they the lats?
They're lats, yeah.
So it's like the point where the top of his ribs join up with his elbows almost.
Basically.
Like there is so much like muscle
he is
outward.
A man, all just lat, and it's just...
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And he's got the what do you call the one that's from your shoulders to your neck?
Triceps?
What? They're not your triceps.
Traps. Sorry, trapezius.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
They are ginormous on this guy
his trapezius,
too.
Yeah, his traps.
But he's so intimidating. And he's in like a few Van Damme things. He's always really effective. Obviously, the most effective is Bloodsport as...
oh, how scary.
Oh, I can't believe I can't remember his name.
Snaps
what's his name?
The shin bone.
You got to look this up for me right now.
Seriously?
I can't believe I can't remember his name.
Right.
Oh, just IMDb's.
Chill on it. It's all right. We're all good.
Mdbz.
Indibers.
Fuck.
But yeah, in what were you going to say? In Bloodsport, what?
Well, because he's just such an incredible... Like, that's his most well-known, I think.
Good.
Everyone knows him as the bad guy in Bloodsport.
Yeah.
But there's this one bit in Bloodsport that I remember really clearly.
Chong Li?
Where he beats somebody.
Snaps the shin bone, man.
Is it this? No, it's not. No, it's the guy he
But he
kills.
looks.
It's the guy he kills.
Oh, yep.
So he kills this quite small... very athletic Asian fighter who is all about the kicks and the spins and stuff, and he basically goes to kick him and he just brushes it off like it's a feather, grabs the guy and just chokes him out and then breaks his neck. And the way he walks around the stadium, the arena, trying to be like, cheer for me, and he does this weird thing where he shakes his whole body and kind of hits his chest, and he's like, come on. doesn't vocalize it in any way. It's almost weird that he is silent when he does it because he's moving, but his face is just so intense. He terrifies me.
Even if I had a 12-gauge shotgun, I'm still not going to go up against this man because the bullets are going to fly off him he will attack you.
Well, you saw he got shot in the face like twice.
I know.
In this.
The man was a Terminator. I was like, what the
and he
hell?
basically gets
go
a scar
down.
and a fake eye, and then fucking back he goes.
And what's his name's gun wasn't small. That was like a Magnum.
No, it was a legit gun, man. And it was just like, oh, fucking, I'll just peel these bits of glass out of my cheek, and I'm right back at it.
Put my hand through a car window, and then shoot.
It was actually quite a Terminator-style shot, the way he kind of rose up through the car window. Yeah. It was pretty fucking great. The opening sequence is incredible, I think.
It was good. It was good fight.
I mean, the stuff with the bridge opening is...
Oh,
fine,
it's
irrelevant.
It was weird.
It's all about the
It was just showing the twins
because
off.
it actually feels. I remember as a kid, I was actually even a bit put off by it. It feels really
by the bridge or by the
by the murder
parents,
of the parents. It's actually really kind of off-putting. It's quite confronting. And I thought they did a really nice job of that because
it is because the mother gets it the worst, and not only that, but the sons are in the back with the babysitter, and they're seeing everything.
They are. Well, they're babies. So.
Well, they're babies, but she is seeing
everything. They don't know shit. They can't remember nothing. So let's move on.
But that's intense.
It was an intense opening, and it scored some points for this movie.
That's true.
Here is one of the ridiculous fucking things that happened.
Here we go.
I think it's just so hilarious that in order to justify JeanClaude Van Damme's accent, one of them gets taken to France and raised in France.
Brought up in France.
The other one gets taken to a French orphanage
in Hong Kong
while they're singing Frère Jacques.
That was so weird, especially because when I was watching it, Sam was like, "That they can't do that." Like, really, how rare is a French orphanage in Hong Kong? That can't be it. And not only that, then he goes back. They have an uncle. Well, it's not really their uncle. One of them goes back to the US in LA.
What does he call him? Uncle Frankie.
Uncle Frankie.
Frankie.
Yeah. That was weird for a premise, like especially because they're both English.
Well, and because they're trying to justify it.
His French accent. So
it's
basically, that's a meeting going, how are we
instead
going to
of telling JeanClaude, hey man,
can you learn an American?
Maybe just try a different accent.
Just try an accent.
It's like, no, we're going to write this incredibly over-the-top convenience into this film. But this is the beauty of these kind of movies, is that in my head,
write it in.
I just go, fuck yeah. French orphanage in Hong Kong.
No, I'm not going to.
Whatevs, man.
Sure.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I just love that they were singing Frère Jacques too, like we weren't going to get it.
That was so lame.
Like, we have to be really clear.
That was so lame.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
It was hilarious.
Wonderful.
And then from there, Tys,
well, this is...
you get some rad yoga pants, man.
Yeah, look, JeanClaude doesn't make the strongest entrance in this movie, does he? Like,
oh my god!
Do you know what? The character of Chad is a real fucking idiot.
Oh, he's a douche. He really is,
and he barely redeems himself by the end of this movie.
Yeah, not really.
Like, basically the whole movie, you're like, shut up, Chad.
Yeah, you were on Alex's team, even though Alex is a wife-beating alcoholic.
Legit. And...
just the lame. But how, written, because JeanClaude wrote some of this. He's like, JeanClaude, what's your first scene going to be? I am going to be doing the splits in the tightest pants in the world in front of an all-female class.
Yeah. And there is that bit where, because, I mean, they obviously, it's the trick of the first shot is the woman's face and she's kind of moaning in pleasure. And it's meant to be, obviously, we're led to believe one thing. And it's like, ha, no, he's in the yoga class.
No, he's in yoga class.
But what she is wearing...
Oh, yeah,
like one of those real old school, like really high-waisted...
Just covering.
And the camera's like right there. And
there was a couple of these shots, though, throughout the movie.
In my head, I'm like, man, as a kid, like...
that is...
I would have been all about that, probably. But... Like, it's
that's the best thing about these movies. These movies, like, you got a little bit of, But I
don't think that was the reason why I watched this one a lot. I mean, we'll get to the sex scene at one point because it is just ridiculous.
It's gold.
But I don't think that was... I actually legitimately... was obsessed with Van Damme because of the fighting. And so I think with movies like this where I was just like, oh, Jesus, man, look what she's wearing. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Maybe as a kid I didn't give a fuck at all.
But it's in the back of your head as a kid going,
I was
wow,
really
that's
young,
really
though.
rude.
Like, I really liked him.
That's really rude. I better not let my parents catch me watching this. Violence, okay, but you got to think, Tys,
It's so true,
that
man.
this
if
is
that people killing each other, I would have been like absolutely fine for my parents to walk in.
Exactly.
Whenever it was a sex scene. I had the remote in my hand, ready to fast forward or push stop if necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Nick, what are you watching? Nothing. What?
Nothing. What are you
I'm not
talking
watching
about?
anything. Yeah,
Not even because not even because it was like I was, like.
No, because they wouldn't care. They would go, Nick, what are you watching? Ah, Nick. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't. They wouldn't at all, seriously. But the thing is, you got to remember in this time, because I was kind of like, because it happened quite a bit, these provocative shots, shall we say? These adult shots, because they happened a lot, in my head, I was like, seriously, this is the time when, I guess nothing really has changed. Well, some things have changed. But the producers, I can just see him with a cigar and aviators going, because we're R-rated, let's make it really R-rated. Let's make it naked. Let's get some titties in there. Can we do some sex? What's going on?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
But, it's one of those things.
Give me more.
I think during the early 90s, I think that was...
It was there.
It was part of a producer's kind of like... It's the old-fashioned, all right, now we're making a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's that same thing where it's like,
we got some sex.
yeah.
Oh, okay, well, we've got a movie.
Yeah, it's like, Van Damme, playing twins. All right, you almost got me here. I reckon I can sell this thing. Oh, there's a heavily gratuitous sex scene. We
have butts in the seats.
Yeah, well, we can make some money off this.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize just how awful that opening scene is because it's just... And it's because it's written by Van Damme, the way that he makes all these women incredibly obsessed with him. It's just kind of, it's really self-indulgent and kind of like a little creepy because I'm like, is this what you think of yourself?
Yeah.
Van Damme? I think you actually think that's you are like God's gift to women.
You're really
and
not.
look, and it leads us into lines like,
go on.
Big surprise, huge surprise when she's when she thinks it's Alex.
She mistakes it's Alex, and he's in the lovely pink shorts.
And like it's like it's kind of like you imagine Van Damme in the writing room going, "Oh no, I gotta have this line talking about how big my cock is."
Yeah, or even just on the day go, "No, I'm going to say this."
Yeah.
No, Van Damme. The script is actually,
and then he'd like giggle and wink at the blonde girl, and it's just,
dude, really,
he creeps me out now, and it's kind of unfortunate because as a kid you just kind of were like in awe of the action, and now I'm seeing all this other really kind of creepy shit.
Makes it gross. It makes Van Damme gross.
He's pretty gross.
Pretty gross.
But yeah, also, his fucking outfit, man. Basically everything Chad wears in this movie
is,
I swear to God,
the
you would
ties, man.
if you go to like you would find all his jackets and ties and pants.
Yeah.
You would find them at a Savers now.
You would.
Like when you go to Savers and you're like, I might just see if there's a cool jacket.
Yeah.
And you go to the jacket section and it's all those velvet wide chested things with the elastic
like
around the bottom,
beige coloured,
or
pastel colours, even though they're kind of in now. But
that's it.
Still,
no, but not like
cut
this. Like this.
Exactly.
So,
but then, how funny is it that he goes from the yoga pants scene? I'm very attractive to the ladies, to a scene where I may be attractive, but I can also kick ass, and literally kicks the guy in the face.
It's kind of like, well, I can't also just be sexy. I need to now go prove that I can kick people's ass.
Yeah,
and I love that guy where he's like, "Show me when you
one of your moves.
You want to see my kicks?"
Random English guy for no reason. Oh, you want to see my kick? And we're in LA.
He's such a fucking asshole. And they're wearing like pink and yellow and like pastel yellow geese.
Geese, yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Where
would
we
you buy these? Where would you even get these?
I know.
They must have dyed them themselves.
It was so weird.
It was like they were doing karate in the Peach Pit.
Yes. 90210. Yes.
Like that's what it would look like if you did a karate class at the Peach Pit.
That's totally what it looked like. That's what the exterior looked like.
Good times.
Good times.
Yeah, look.
Chad and Alex, man.
We get to meet Chad and Alex.
Yeah.
I think I think he does a pretty good job distinguishing them.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'll tip my hat off to him. He did a
They
not bad job. They were-
amazingly, in this movie, they actually feel like different characters.
They do. I don't know.
They actually feel like different people. And
Well done, Van
like, that
Damme.
is even look, and it's amazing because what starts off as what feel like just very clear stereotypes.
Yeah.
Like he's like,
The
oh, just
badass
make
and the
Chad
good
a
guy.
real fucking sissy,
Prissy boy.
and then
Yeah.
I'll make Alex the real fucking tough guy
Yeah,
with the
the
slicked
streetwise,
hair, and he's got the
and
leather
he's got
jacket,
cigars and he smokes and-
backhands his woman. Like, but they actually do become formed personalities.
Yeah.
Quite quickly.
Decent
and I'm like,
characters,
he's done a good job. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing to say it because I remember
You don't think it's going to happen at all. Yeah, exactly.
I just didn't think it was going to happen. And because also Chad is such a fucking douchebag that you watch that first scene where he's just like, oh, Frankie, Hong Kong, what do you mean Hong Kong? And you're just like, why are you talking? Why are you such like a bro? Like a weird Hollywood bro.
Trying to be like a California.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so lame.
And so
was
when you
lame.
feel like, when you actually see that it's by design, I guess,
Yeah.
that he's making sure that it's really clear.
Well done.
You're kind of like, all right, man, you got me. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You kind of...
But when they go to, especially when they go to Hong Kong, and he's like, oh, I like Hong Kong. Like he's getting,
And his little one-liners when like he's eating the frog and he's like, what's this meant to do? Make my dick bigger?
Seriously.
And it's just,
You're
the
a
awkwardness
douche.
is felt worldwide as that sentence happens. Everyone in the world
Worldwide.
kind of cringes and goes,
Everyone
"Oh,
goes, you
you're
fucking
a
idiot.
fucking idiot."
Do you reckon people thought that he was a fucking idiot back when this movie came out in 91? Like, do you reckon
No.
that line
I
landed?
think Chad is meant to be a little bit of a dork.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't think as much as he is. Like, he is now.
Seriously.
Now he is just unbearable. But
Yeah.
I don't think back then.
Back
I
then
think
it
back
wouldn't have
then
been
he
that
was
bad.
just
It
a bit
would
of
have
a
been like, yeah.
a bit of a larrikin kind
Yeah.
of. That's an Aussie word.
Larrikin.
For all our fucking international listeners. A larrikin.
Would you like to describe what a
Well, I don't
larrikin
know.
is?
A
Go on.
larrikin, well, someone who is endearingly goofy.
Yeah.
Should we say that?
That's a good
but
one.
in an Australian way. For
In
a
an
larrikin.
Australian way, yeah.
I can't think of an American equivalent.
A doofus. No?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
But a lovable doofus.
A lovable doofus,
Yeah.
yeah. I want to talk about the scene where
Go for it.
they meet each other. For some hilarious reason, they don't think that they're brothers, even though they are the exact same fucking
No,
person.
the way they're just like, no, it's bullshit.
No,
I'm
it's
like,
bullshit. You are looking at the same thing. Like, I thought there would have been a bigger, like, a kind of like a mirror. You know how they mime in front of each other? Like, oh my God.
And the way
literally
he's like,
looking
he's
at
so mad at the girl for like trying to hook up with him.
I know. If I
And
saw that,
if I saw that, I'd be like-
it'd be like Austin Powers. Like, of course you're going to
Of
fucking
course.
sex him. Look how hot he is.
Exactly.
That's how vain Nick is.
But
yeah.
yeah, no, you're right.
But
It
then,
is
but then
ridiculous.
from that, like, Frank tells the story about his parents, about what happens at the start, and then shows them the picture. And I'm not sold, Tyson, that they believe him. They don't
I
believe
think
him
so.
at all.
Well, to be honest, though, if some weird guy showed me it just happened to be a picture of an old man holding two babies.
But if you saw your reflection in a leather jacket or pink shorts, you'd be like, okay, well, clearly something is going on.
The fact that they look identical is irrelevant. The fact
Right.
that he used
Shows
as
a
proof a
a
photo of
baby
them as
photo.
babies, like they're going to look at it and go,
Oh, yeah, that's clearly
us.
me."
Holy shit, that's us. Which I found kind of weird. But
Yeah.
you're right, though. They do kind of treat it all very strangely.
Yeah. So from that, what is supposed to drive the movie is the fact of this: you have your birthright is to this tunnel, and the legacy of your father.
I don't understand. Is it meant to
don't-
be money? Do they get money?
I don't know.
Do they just get to claim
I didn't,
ownership of
I
the
didn't,
tunnel?
I didn't get
Because
it.
not to jump too far forward,
Yeah, go on.
but I will. Let's do it anyway.
Go on.
The movie. This is one of those classic movies that ends just when the bad guy's dead, and there's he does the like everything's cool. You know, how do you describe that? The thing the thing you put on your leg, that if you put it on your leg and someone sees it, you have to punch them.
It's an okay.
It's okay.
That is okay.
Oh, as in like O&K.
K.
Oh, I never realized
Really? You
that.
never knew
No,
that?
Never knew that.
Wow.
So Van Damme does the big old okay, and
Yeah.
then we freeze frame and credits roll.
Yeah.
And in my head, all I was thinking is like, dude, you just killed a whole bunch of people. Then they're not just going to walk up and be like,
Yeah.
the bridge is yours.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We found all the paperwork.
Yeah,
Well done.
exactly.
You're rich.
You have
Yeah.
honored your parents' memories.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, hey, you just killed like this really popular like and well-known businessman.
Yep.
And this other guy that is well-respected in Hong Kong. You guys have got a
You
fucking...
guys have
You got a lot to
you
answer
got a
for.
lawsuit on your hands, like a big lawsuit.
Big time.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum a lawsuit.
Exactly.
Maximum like they're facing some jail time.
Can I ask? I feel like Van Damme's that okay thing. Does Van Damme do that a lot? I feel like
That
you've
might be
seen
his,
him a
yeah,
lot.
it
Do
might
that.
be his thing. I think it might be his... Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, it's okay.
He does it in Street Fighter. I'm
We are
almost certain he does it
Putting
in
the
Street
photo
Fighter.
up of Van Damme doing the okay because it freeze frames at the end and it's such an 80s
But it's
thing.
it's perfect though because you've like I can't believe we're talking about the end already. 'Cause we'll come back to the end. We'll come back to the end. I don't want to. Yeah,
fair
go,
enough. Fair
go
enough.
do
Fair
nuts.
enough. Go on.
All right. So
Where do you want to go from here?
well, look, there's some nice action scenes.
Yeah,
There's a few. I
there's some good setups. That's what I loved.
yeah.
Yeah,
I like the hang on.
the abandoned hotel, man.
That's a great set.
How good is that?
It's really like
it's
when they arrive in the boat.
Yeah.
I'm like, were you just fucking cruising around and you found this abandoned hotel and went, is there
Oh, we're going to stick it up here.
well, let's just
yeah.
film it. Let's just film here
Yeah.
because it looks
looks like
incredible.
yeah.
It like it's a really great set. It's really like I think when they get inside, I don't think
I think it's a set.
It's probably a
Yeah.
set. They probably didn't use them as much as I would have liked either. They kind of have that one
know.
side bit. But yeah, really good set. But some of the action sequences are okay.
They're okay. They could have been better.
Yeah, like some of them are a bit shit. Like for instance, the
Go on.
most of the fight scenes are very much that wait for somebody to kick and then he'll kind of kick them once,
Yeah.
and then they'll fall.
Like comparing to what we've seen nowadays with, say, an action scene. Let's say a fight scene in Daredevil, the TV
Sure.
series. Van Damme is supposed to be badass. Like
this was
I know, but when watching this, I was like, "Come on, man! Are you going to kick him or not?"
Well, this is. I don't think. I mean, it was just a different time. We were so
It was.
less we expected less of our action films. We kind of were just
Yeah,
like,
I
wow, look
guess.
at that explosion. Oh, that's a cool stunt. That guy fell through a window.
Yeah,
And then
and it wasn't
some
until
kicks and some punches.
Yeah.
Like I watch, when we watch something like any of these movies that had like a big final fight, right? I go back and watch them now and they're all disappointing.
They're just because they're edited.
Yeah,
and you see
and-
a quick punch and then a kick and then
And the
that's
problem
it.
is,
Yeah.
like, with movies like The Raid, basically ruining it for everybody else.
No, they're not. They are showing you the bar where the bar
But
should
this is
be.
what I mean. Like,
know
no
what I
one can
You can
match that
you
anymore.
Totally
I don't
can.
think. Oh man, like seriously, that's some incredible stuff. Or like Tony Jaa, for instance, like
Exactly.
Ong
Crouch-
Bak and the
Yep.
and the Protector.
Started with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Well,
when we
yeah.
were shown that,
Well, we
then
had
the
that.
Matrix
We had
came
that
out,
period
and then,
of all the wire work,
Yeah.
wire fu, which I'm not the biggest fan
I'm not a
of.
huge fan, but
I like the stuff. I like the fact that Tony Jaa made a big deal of the fact that he wasn't using wires.
Yeah.
And he did shit that
Tony Jaa.
that just to me made absolutely no sense. Like
Yeah.
there's a bit where he jumps. And
What
like,
movie are you talking about?
it's in Ong Bak, I think.
Oh, okay,
Or- yeah, it's Ong Bak.
Ong Bak?
He jumps and he folds himself like over.
Right.
So like imagine you're touching your toes, right?
Uh-huh.
But you're doing that mid-air,
Right.
feet first,
Right.
and he, yep.
Yeah.
So your whole body is
Whole body
rolled
is
over,
carried over, yeah.
and he jumps through a barbed wire loop like that.
Through that.
Yep.
Like that.
So he runs, does that move,
Yep.
goes through the barbed wire loop, and then unfolds. And I remember watching that and just being like, that is fucked. Like, how is that? Like,
How can a human being even think about doing
Yeah.
this? Really?
And then someone like Iko Uwais, or
Yeah,
Uwais,
yeah.
or however I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure how to
I
say
don't
his
know how
name,
to say his name.
who from the Raid.
Amazing.
He popped up in The Force Awakens. He was
Oh, right.
one of the raiders that that pops up at the start when Han Solo
when he gets
is
attacked by
trying
those
to
big monsters.
he was one of those guys.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's kind of doing some stuff, but he's he's the same, man.
But he
His
was
fight
used.
sequences. It's not even
Intense.
just him. It's
No, I know.
basically everyone they get in those
I
raid
love
films.
The Raid.
I love the first one.
I haven't seen the second. I heard the second was good. I heard good things.
It's really, really long, and you need to be on board for that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like long.
It's 2.5 hours,
Whoa, that's long.
and it has fight sequences that are just so amazing.
yeah, man.
You've got to be willing to sustain that though. Like
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
long time to sustain fight scenes with not a lot else going on.
Oh,
I honestly could not tell you what that film was about.
Where the Raid, you can tell what
The Raid is is short, sharp. It is succinct. It is, and I really admire that about the first Raid is that there is no fat on that whatsoever.
No, there isn't. That is a brilliant
It is
film.
lean. Anyway,
But yeah.
So unfortunately, means that we go back to watch these 90s action films, and we have
And
to
you're
kind
like,
of take the
"Oh, that
action
was
with a bit of a
nice.
grain of salt.
That was a
man,
good
'cause it's
kick."
Ooh, nice kick, Van Damme. Well done. Because it's a lot of posturing, and
It
it's a
is.
lot of just kind of who's
Boom,
going
I'm
to
gonna
kick
kick
first,
you with one
and
kick,
then
and I understand.
so it can be a bit disappointing, and the action sequences aren't great.
No.
There's a lot of
It was a lot-
reliance on movie explosions, and one guy will leap
For me,
through
there was
the air.
there was a
and-
lot. There was too many guns.
Lots of guns in this
for
movie.
a Van Damme movie.
I was trying to think. I was actually thinking when I was watching it if this is maybe the most
gun
the
usage
most
for Van Damme.
actiony, that kind of style action film, like the Chuck Norris, more kind of more ammunition based.
Yep.
Because there's bombs and there's
Yeah,
dynamite.
I wanted to talk about that. That was one of my favorites. So when they go in to the Hong Kong club, both of them dressed in tuxes, by the way, which is so beautiful.
Oh, mate.
It's such a beautiful Hong Kong influence. Twins dressed in tuxes. But yeah, I wanted them to. I wanted that when everything went wrong.
Yeah.
I wanted them to be in the middle. And full, massive, just a brawl, just a kung fu.
Oh man, could you imagine how awful that would look? And the funny thing about it is, for a movie that is pushing really hard on this whole twins thing, I reckon they got in there and realized that this is going to be a lot harder than they initially thought, because they don't ever fight in the same room, except when they fight each other.
Yeah,
which is I remember being a lot longer than what it actually went for.
It went for a bit.
It went for less than a minute, I reckon. Minute to a minute and a half. But anyway, before we just get to that, well, we could probably get to that. That's
Well, I want to talk about the tuxes bit.
Yeah, that sequence.
Can I ask you, because
I'd forgotten that sequence exists.
This is essentially a film. You've seen this how many times, Tyson? Too many.
Too many times.
What is the plan there, Tice? What is the?
You're 100% right, because I don't understand why they both do it. It's like they didn't work out the details.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
I was
like they
hang on a minute.
accidentally went, "Oh, hang on. Are you going to do that? I was going to do that."
Chad, you're not meant to be going in now.
Yeah.
You're meant to be,
Because it's all a fucking shambles. And one of the boxes gets in there, and the other one, they just kind of go,
we'll just leave it here.
We'll just leave it here, it'll be fine. And there's a wonderful moment with
dude, why are you leaving it there?
Oh god, what's his name? Frankie.
Yeah.
Uncle Frankie. Is sitting there talking to some quite possibly some Asian prostitute.
Yes.
Who is
true.
is trying to butter him up so he'll spend a bit of money on her.
Some cash.
And it's Alex first who comes in, and he flashes him the remote control for the bomb, but in the most open jacket, just goes, look what I got. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. What do you think? That's the plan,
the
man.
bombs are going in the room that you're going to be in.
It's funny. The whole scene is set up as a way to tell the audience what's about to happen. Whereas they having made up the plan themselves. Do not need to do anything the way that they do it. They could just get it done, and then at the end of the scene, they could all walk out of the place, and then he could pull out the remote and go, good setup, we're done.
Well done, Paul.
And that could be the end of the movie.
Exactly.
At that point in the movie, we are introduced. Well, we're not introduced. She does pop up earlier.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the first featured moment of our female henchman.
Yes.
Henchwoman in this film.
Yeah.
Who
is...
it's a really interesting choice.
Quite... I don't know what the word is.
Well, okay,
controversial.
So it's interesting because this is the thing. I gave the movie some props because I can't think of another film in this ilk
that has done
that
this.
has a female physical threat as prominent and actually who is a physical match for the male protagonist.
Absolutely. She is 100%. She could kick Van Damme's ass.
Yeah,
and you can
I
tell
don't
that
mean
just
like
looking at it.
there are obviously movies like that have female assassins and things in them where they can be.
No, this
we're
woman
talking
is
about
a female Hulk.
She is the muscle.
Yeah,
she's not just she's not just really good like someone like the
Gogo Zabari or what's another one?
Well, any of the chicks in the Kill Bill series because they're all designed,
they're all
designed to be the fucking baddest of the bad. She's here for her physical strength. She is a bouncer, basically, and she is ripped to shithouse.
Her thighs alone, man, will kill you in the night.
Well, they use that. She swings down from the roof and fucking grabs him. Anyway, so at first I gave the movie some props because I was like, I'd forgotten this bit. Or maybe as a kid I just didn't put two and two together as much.
Yeah, it was a bit...
But then they go and do two things that I think kind of make it a bit icky.
It was a bit weird. Look,
they make her a lesbian.
They do...
Because you can't have a strong female
woman
with masculine tendencies because they make her, she has kind of masculine features. She's very square-jawed and she's very, she's got a masculine kind of figure in a sense because she's not just fit like feminine fit. She's bodybuilder,
she is
ripped.
a bodybuilder, yeah.
So they make her a lesbian and she tries to crack on to she actually sexually abuses.
Yeah, which was quite full. I was like,
the female lead.
Yeah,
which came out of nowhere, and I was like, holy shit! Yeah, I didn't remember this as a kid. And as a kid, I was probably like, yay, action movie, and missing the bit where the female romantic lead gets basically sexually assaulted by another female.
Yep,
and then they also.
What did they do later on? They
sell her short in the physical fight.
It was just kind of wasted.
Very, very easily dispatched of.
Well, this is the thing. I don't think they, like we were saying, the fights themselves weren't choreographed very well.
Yes.
So I thought there would be a bit more.
But it's more about the impact that the fight has in its short time.
Yeah.
Like the Bolo Yong fight.
It was good.
Is not long. But it's great because he's throwing barrels and it's got all
which
these...
I think she should have done.
Like, she should have been more of a physical threat. Do you know who wasn't a physical threat in any way, shape whatsoever?
Yep.
Mullet Spurs.
Mullet Spurs.
A character I completely forgot existed in this film.
He was quintessential 80s, 90s henchman.
I am in better shape than this guy. He is...
But do you look better than this guy?
He is scrawny. I don't understand the mentality of casting this guy.
Mullet Spurs, man.
The suit is falling off him.
It was the mullet.
It's such a fucking early 90s mullet. And I love that he's like special power, in air quotes, is that he wears spurs.
And he kicks you with
he can kick you with his spurs and it cuts your neck.
And he wears sunglasses all the time, even in the dark.
He was awful. And it actually, I felt bad that, Chad was left to fight him.
Oh, really?
Because they try to treat it.
No,
not Chad. Alex. Chad gets Bolo Yong.
Which I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
Alex has to fight him in that weird kind of shadow fight scene where he's hiding in the shadows, and all you hear is all the of all the kicks and stuff. And then anything. And then he just turns.
See anything.
No, you don't see anything. And then he just turns on the light.
Yeah, and he's like,
"Hey,
how you going?
What's up? I'm gonna fuck you up.
I'm gonna fuck you up now." Yeah.
He was just the most ineffective henchman.
You are my friend.
I have seen in an action movie for a very long time. I forgot he existed completely. Should we talk about the sex scene?
It was raunchy.
It was
so raunchy.
It is so soft-core porn.
It's softcore porn. It is. Look, let's not say what it is.
It's this neon light and
slow
okay,
moving.
So here's the thing, right? It's by design though, because it is
absolutely.
Alex's drunken hallucination
It
of
doesn't
what
actually
they
happen.
think is happening.
Yeah.
Which almost makes it worse though that it exists. Because
No, it doesn't. It was Van Damme going, look, Alona Shaw is very attractive. I would like a sex scene.
this is what I mean. It makes it so sus. Because it's not even something that actually happens in the film.
No.
It's
a dream sequence.
It is Alex's hallucination, drunken kind of
which was
panic,
weird.
fever panic.
Yeah. Because he's stuck on an island with no boat.
Which
and he
is,
can't get
and
back.
all it is an excuse for them to have a fight.
Yeah.
Which there are millions of other ways they could have done it. He could just. I like the way it actually happens in reality.
Go on.
Whereas she's on the boat and she changes, and you just see Chad kind of do that awkward. No, not that bit. That bit was funny. No, because you know how he kind of awkwardly goes, I shouldn't be looking because it's my brother's. My brother's girlfriend.
Yeah, at the start. Yeah.
If they had cut from there to Alex being drunk and
That's
them
true.
arriving, it would happen anyway.
It would be fine.
It would be fine.
It would be fine.
Because
but no,
we had to have this ridiculously over-the-top sex scene.
Do you know what I love that they had, which was so 80s at the time? A white or sort of see-through white bed sheet hung from the roof, and it's blowing in the wind and the wave, and
it's like
it was intense.
Yeah,
it was intense.
It's just so funny that Alex's drunken fever panic sex dream about his girlfriend.
Yeah,
they are like. It's not like.
It's amazing.
It's not like.
Go on.
Yeah, it's not like Chad is even bad in it or being kind of mean to her or anything.
It's straight to the sex.
He's like
mid-sex scene.
It's like it's if someone said describe the most like romance novel version of sex.
It's a Mills and Boon.
It's Mills and Boon.
Yeah.
And so he's actually like
he's
imagining it as this beautiful kind of
That's so true. Yeah.
Which is so weird because you'd think for him,
it would be
a bit more kind of like he was taking advantage in a way,
exactly.
and she was like the innocent victim of that, and
so
all this
true.
kind of stuff.
So true.
And then
I
it
just
leads
love
us,
those blue and pink light. Is it blue and pink light that's coming out of
nowhere?
nowhere?
There's a lot of neon in this film.
So good.
Lots of neon lights.
I love it.
The whole end sequence, when they're in the boiler room. There's neon lights everywhere.
Oh, yeah, there
and I'm
are,
like, where are
isn't
these
there?
fucking neon lights coming from? Who's got these neon lights on this boat?
Aren't we in that's right. Aren't we in a port? Isn't it like
it's like a rave,
Yeah.
though. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Which
that
leads
was
us
funny.
to their fight together, which is not well handled. With
No,
the
it wasn't.
with the trying to double up, like it's the split screen moments are terrible.
Yeah.
It's all filmed over the shoulder, and it's all just.
Well, it's the same as we've got to talk about the when they sit on the couch for the first time together, and it's the first shot of both of them in the same shot.
Oh, it's awful. Awful.
And you can just see the outline of both of them. Like,
and by 91, I thought we were at least kind of past the really obvious outlines of that kind of special effect. We might like.
What year was Who Framed Roger Rabbit was 1988. There was no outlines or anything in that.
No, well, we're talking very different. We're talking
Budgets.
different levels of budgets and different levels of filmmaker. But it's just the.
But yeah,
it's just
it looked
so
cheap.
bad.
Yeah,
like
it's
it's other level bad.
Yeah.
Do you know there's some really funny moments in their fight though.
Go on.
There's.
Oh, that's in the the abandoned hotel.
Yeah, so they're in the abandoned hotel. The fight actually has my favorite line in the film.
Oh, go on.
Where Danielle says when they're fighting, "Alex, don't. He's your brother."
Yeah.
And Alex says, "Why? Because he looks like me? I'm gonna change that." And in my head, I'm like, "Great line, great line,
awesome."
But then it goes on, and he says, "'Cause I'm gonna fuck up his face."
You idiot.
I'm like, oh, guys,
You
come on.
ruined
You
it.
had a really kind of clever...
No.
A clever, not clever like in the
Not
grand
clever.
scheme of things,
No.
but for a shitty like 90s Van Damme movie, a clever line. And you couldn't leave it be. You had to have the, because I'm going to fuck up his face. Like everyone in the world went,
we got it.
yeah, we
well
got it,
done.
man. Thanks a lot.
And
Thanks.
he didn't even touch his face. He pushed him
No,
through
that's
stuff,
it.
didn't he?
Yeah, because Van Damme's not getting punched in the face. Not by some stuntman who's pretending to be his
Pretending to be
twin.
his twin.
No way, man.
No way.
He's
It
not
was
interested.
terrible. Yeah.
Hey, this movie's too darn long.
You did mention that before, I think, and you said no, when we weren't filming, and when we weren't taping. Sorry,
It's an hour and 50
it is a
minutes.
little long. Yeah, cut 20 minutes, and we're good.
This has
But we've
no
got
right to be longer than 90 minutes.
No, come on,
a
we've got to
movie
have
like
a sex
this.
scene in here, Tys. We've got to get the
That's
butts
what I
in the
mean.
seats.
That is a long sex scene too. Like it's one of those
It
ones.
was really long.
When I reckon, God, it's an hour and 50 minutes.
Jesus,
It's 10 minutes short of
yeah,
2 hours.
You didn't need that start. You didn't need the start with the two babies. I'm not saying what happened to the parents. I'm saying
the whole thing
sequence,
with the fucking
bridge.
the bridge could be
Then who
cut
fucking
cut
cares
shorter.
about that?
The sex scene could be cut shorter. There's a couple of action sequences that kind of don't really result in anything.
Yeah.
Like the one where they're on the boat and he's
Yeah,
trying to
and
do
he's
the
trying
deal
to-
with the Mercedes.
Yeah.
Which ends because a
That was
boat can't
weird.
drive around a little bit of fire.
That was so lame. That was so lame.
I'm
I
pretty sure
loved it. I'm
boats
like,
could go around.
what is your
some
plan
fire.
here? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you'll be fine.
You'll
Keep
be fine.
going.
Or just
Oh no, the
Yeah.
boats are on fire. No, the cars are on fire. We're screwed.
yeah, it's not even like the boat's on fire. Oh no, there's a car on fire in the middle of this giant river.
Massive.
How will we ever get past it? Like those kind of things, they're just inconsequential
Yeah.
to the plot.
Yeah.
Um,
I have something to ask. I have a question.
Sure, man.
Because when watching this, I forgot how much kicking there is in a Van Damme movie. I don't know whether this is
It's always
normal.
kicking.
I
Yeah.
know. Is this normal?
yeah, he's a big
Okay.
kicker.
But even his enemies are kickers. Like, it's
good
just
point.
a kicking thing?
Yeah, I feel like
Even without
it was
mullet
just
studs.
an example of
Spurs,
that
sorry.
version. Mullet Spurs.
mullet spurs.
It was just an example of that period of time
Right.
where it was like everyone kicks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Everyone.
Like-
there was so much kicking.
Yeah, but
The other reason I bring it up because of the bowler Young, he throws a barrel and
Van
Damme
Kicks
kicks.
it.
He thinks to kick it, and then he hurts his leg.
I mean, just
What
get out of the
do
way
you-
of the barrel.
Just move. Just duck.
move.
Literally duck.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Do the splits. How rad would that have been? You know.
He doesn't do the splits in this, does he?
No,
he does at the start. That's
he
right.
does it at the start. He
I
shows
can do
the
the
ladies.
splits, no problem.
Hey, ladies, look at my splits. Yeah, you like that, huh? And he rolls his pelvis into the. Oh,
Oh, of course
yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
let's look at that last action sequence.
Yeah, look, there's some good stunt stuff. I did notice. There's some guys look like they might have hurt themselves.
Oh yeah, there were
Like-
guys that were giving it their all.
They
in
were
this
really
thing.
giving it their all. They
Yeah.
were throwing themselves against some hard
Cars
objects, and
yeah,
that would have been pretty painful, I reckon.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
was
So
awesome.
and look, and that's back in those days. That's what made those action sequences effective.
Exactly.
Was
Have you
the
got
fa-
a
have you got
decent
cool
stunt team?
stunts,
Yeah.
cool stunt guys, things that make you kind of go, oh.
Yeah.
I reckon I felt that.
Ooh,
You know,
he hurt his
you
face
don't you
there.
don't see the you know that the movies like this don't have the budget for like imitation cars like that are soft covered and shit,
Oh,
or
no.
or like
It's the- you
you
know
can
what it
actually
is?
just dive into this green box and we'll add in the shit later. Like,
No, we don't have that. We don't have that.
no,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh no, fall out of this window onto that car. Thanks.
Do you know what I love watching in these times? If someone, and it happened at the end of this movie, if someone has to go up steel steps that zigzag,
Oh yeah.
if a bad guy falls down them, you give him his come up. You go, let's have Steve have this shot. He tried hard. He hurt his arm. Let's put it in because that would hurt. Rolling down that, you can't soften those
I don't.
stairs.
Yeah, I know you couldn't. I
There's
don't understand
no-
that. But they know how to protect their
fall.
brain
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
But
That's it.
That's it. They'd be coming out of it going, "Oh fuck, I think I broke my collarbone." With it. Did you get the shot though? Because
We got it. We got the shot.
we got the shot. Great,
We got
because
the
I can't
shot.
do that again.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that again.
Pay
'cause
me
I
and I'm out of here.
Broke 3 ribs. And
Yeah.
I'm good.
There's a weird bit where Van Damme like full ghosts. Like
Ghosts?
he's standing in one space, dives into the river, and then appears
Oh, at the end.
in
Yeah.
the truck.
Yeah, that was Chad, wasn't it?
It was Chad.
That was Chad. Yeah.
He legit
He was just
teleports.
Well,
Because there's nowhere for him to go.
thinking, yeah,
Did he
exactly.
swim all the way around?
Yeah, and it's not as if he can just climb up a ladder. He's actually on like a really high. Yeah. And he just turns up in the thing soaking wet. He goes, "Hey, I beat you."
Yeah, I'm here now, and I'm gonna squash you with this fucking pallet. Yeah, and that's it. Hey, okay. Yeah, out of nowhere, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, fuck,
fucking hell.
whatever, man. He's just got magic powers. Then.
Yeah, man.
That's
It was
fine
awesome.
with me.
It was
Whatever
totally
works,
awesome.
man.
Yeah.
Whatever works. And the credits are pretty great. They're big old badass.
Oh, jeez.
Late 80s, early 90s fucking rock ballad.
Oh, yeah.
Pop-
That's
pop
right.
rock kinda
And the
tune
song has the name Double Impact in it.
Of course it does.
Oh,
all these
God.
songs were all like...
It was horrible.
Two
it was like
brothers fighting for their lives. They're gonna take down the bad guys.
Yes.
Like, that's what all those songs were. They were
Yeah,
fucking great.
Absolutely.
No.
Either that or it was a rap version, like
Or
the
the rap,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
That one.
exactly.
TURTLE power. Like they had that crap. And you were like,
Exactly.
oh, fuck me.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I think that's
That
Double
was pretty
Impact,
good.
man. I think we pretty much covered everything we want to say. What's just a quick little side comment? What's your favorite Van Damme film, Nick?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to say Time Cop. Only because I need to watch Bloodsport again. I own Time Cop and Bloodsport.
Sure.
But I haven't seen Bloodsport. To be honest, Tyson, I haven't watched a lot. Like Hard Target.
Hard Target's so
what's
good.
the other one? The other one that comes to Death Warrant.
Death Warrant
cover?
that's early Van Damme,
Yeah.
where they were all kind of the same movie,
Yeah,
like where it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of like for some reason he gets in a situation where he has to fight a lot
Yes,
of dudes, basically, and
And I'm up for.
there was
but
just
I
a
wanna
bunch of
watch
movies that were like that.
Yeah.
Wrong Bet, Death Warrant. Lionheart's not.
No.
Bloodsport and Kickboxer
Yeah.
were all just kind of movies where it was like,
You have a training sequence.
you
in
are
there.
a fighter.
Yep.
We're going to put you in a situation where you're going to fight a bunch of different dudes. And it was like a live action video game,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And they're all suitable. Like, they're fine.
I guess that's why I like Time Cop.
Time Cop, yeah.
Because there's actually a story
Look, there's
there.
a
Like,
more,
I don't mind it.
I don't actually love that period of Van Damme, that kind of
okay.
the Time Cop Maximum Risk, like...
Universal Soldier.
where it became a little... Universal Soldier's a good film.
Yeah.
It's not a good film. That's selling it.
That's
It's
overselling.
definitely watchable,
Yeah.
and it's
It's
got some pretty
watchable.
cool stuff. It's got a really fun Dolph Lundgren performance.
the neck snap in that.
and
is amazing.
the ears, the ear necklace.
His necklace. was
There's some really fun stuff in that film, but I don't think it's a great film.
So the quest, all of those.
No, but see,
that
that's where we
era.
start going downhill
Yeah, it was
with
weird.
the quest.
Sudden death and all.
Sudden
those.
death is really great.
Yeah. But yeah, what's your?
I think
favorite,
it's got to be
Thomas?
Bloodsport.
It's got to be Bloodsport.
Yeah, I think
because Bloodsport was
Bloodsport's amazing.
Was amazing.
Yeah,
I remember watching that so much as a kid.
Oh man, it's so incredibly watchable.
Yeah.
And you forget when you go to watch it because you're like, oh, kumite.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't wait for the fucking kumite. But you forget that the first 25 to half an hour is the flashback to his training with
that's
with
right.
these his sensei who he makes friends with the sensei's son who dies.
Oh yeah.
And then
yeah.
he wants to be trained, and it's this really kind of
and is it the one where
very
he trains
unique
underwater?
father and son
Oh, no, that's
relationship.
Kickboxer.
That's Kickboxer.
Yeah.
Bloodsport's the one where he makes the device out of the trees, where it's all that big pulley system.
Oh yeah, he
which
does the
forces him to do the splits.
Yeah.
It's also the one where he makes tea blindfolded. Which is really great. And then he sits down at the end of it and he goes to karate chop him and he catches it.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's like,
That's
you
right.
can
Yeah,
fucking do this. I
yeah.
can do this shit blind, motherfucker.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which of course plays into the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap it up there and move on to. Okay. Well, we've got our mailbag section.
Mailbag.
Mailbag is back.
And it is rad.
It is rad. I'm pretty excited to get some mail. If you
I
want to
know,
send us a letter,
Yeah. Or
you need a
email.
time machine. If you would like to send us an email,
Yes, you can,
You can do that
email us at Nick Tys and Videotape at gmail.com.
Yes, like this lovely person has with this email I have in front of me.
Well, this is we've had mail. It's just that no one's asked us a question.
Sometimes it's kind of like it's irrelevant stuff. It's just kind of like, hey, have you seen this? It's like, all right,
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
thanks.
yeah. We have that. Thank you.
Or that was funny, and just like a little kind of comment on stuff, which is great.
Which is nice.
We love that stuff, but it's not like that. We can mention that in the mailbag section because it's kind of not really content.
No.
But we have an email here, so we're going to read this one out.
Go on.
Hey, Nick and Tys, loving the show. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Cheers.
Me and my friends were talking about movies we love, and one of my friends brought up the fact that he absolutely loves Terminator Salvation, even more than the original.
Oh, really fucking
Who is
controversial.
This person? Who
Jesus
is this
Christ.
person?
Okay.
It got me thinking, what movie... I'll say that again.
Sorry.
It got me thinking, what movies do you guys love that are universally agreed to be shithouse? And vice versa. Are there any movies that are universally loved that you think are awful? Keep up the good work. BTW, my fave episode was Cobra, despite you thinking no one liked it.
Are you serious?
Cheers, Peter J. Peter J, thanks, man.
You rad bastard.
That's awesome. We really appreciate it. And thank you for the question.
Yeah, man.
That's a good question.
God, that is a really good question.
Okay, so let's start at the end and work our way backwards.
Okay, cool.
What's a movie that is universally loved that you think is kind of awful?
I actually have kind of two.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
That I'm going to say.
Yeah, go with the
one
two.
Is...
I don't need to talk about them too much.
One is Avatar.
Okay.
A lot of people like Avatar, I feel. Well,
Avatar is well liked.
Is it? Why?
Do you know people like it sent people into depression and stuff?
What?
Do you remember hearing about this?
No.
That Pandora, the world was such a people were kind of so wanted to be part of that world that it caused like depression and stuff.
Jesus Christ! People.
Yeah, it's really funny that for a movie that made so much money and so many people saw it, no one gives a fuck about that movie anymore.
Fuck off. And he's doing 2 and 3 and fuck off. And who gives a fuck?
He's doing up to 5.
What pisses me off about this is because James, Mr. Cameron, you are quite a good director.
He's a wonderful director.
You are really good.
Yep.
Your history, your back catalogue is intense, man. And you are fucking...
Almost all hits, no misses.
Wasting your time. No one wants an Avatar 2, dude. And if you do...
Do you know what? This is when I think about it and go, James Cameron, I think might be one of the... there's a reason the guy has made the 2 highest grossing films of all time. He's a smart motherfucker.
He is.
I think he sees something that we don't see. And I reckon he's gonna pull it out. Regardless of the fact, Avatar 1 is not a very good movie. You are totally correct.
The other one that I don't like, which I may get some flack for, is Moulin Rouge.
Oh, yeah, okay. You'll get a bit of flack from me for that. I love Moulin Rouge.
Fair deal,
yeah.
It was one of those films where, and I know you suffered this too, Tys, because we've talked about this before.
Sure.
If a lot of people... I didn't get a chance to see the film, right?
Yeah,
and
100%.
and it already, because I was at the video store at that point, I let it run its course and then eventually saw it. And I had way too many people saying, Nick, you're going to love this movie. And I'm like, well, guess what, mate? I'm not going to fucking love it. Fuck you.
And
I know it's
tough
a horrible...
when that happens.
Yeah.
I hate that when that happens.
I
saw Moulin Rouge in the cinema, knowing very little about it.
Right.
And it was
that would have been beautiful.
One of the most wonderful experiences of my life. That opening sequence where the Fox logo gets played by the conductor and the curtains open and everything. Beautiful. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I am in for something very special.
Well, Baz is spectacular.
Spectacular.
You know, he is, a beautiful director. Romeo and Juliet goes down as amazing.
He's...
Recently,
he indulges his worst aspects.
Yes,
a lot.
Yep.
And I think Moulin Rouge is the closest to getting away with that. Sure. That is the movie where I can understand why you don't like it. I absolutely see that
because I feel like I
don't feel like that's
I'm
a controversial decision. No,
really?
Because I feel like it is 100%. It is on a pinhead, and it will fall either way. Whereas Australia and Gatsby, I think, are very clearly in the shit pile. And Romeo and Juliet is very clearly in the great pile. I don't really love Strictly Ballroom, but that's that's neither here nor there.
Strictly Ballroom.
Moulin Rouge is the one that I think can go either way quite easily. Fair. It just happens to fall into the love category for me.
But
cool. All right. Well, my one, I'm gonna talk about.
Go on.
I'm going to talk about two
Ooh.
very quickly.
Okay.
First of all is Gran Torino, the
That
Clint
people-
Eastwood movie.
Oh, people do love this, don't they?
Gran Torino was huge. It was
It was a little too
box
big.
office smash
Yep.
for Clint.
That's true.
It made a fuck ton of money.
Fuck ton.
It has a rating on IMDb of 8.2.
Jesus Christ, that's a little high.
It is rated 159 of the greatest films of all time, according to IMDb.
159.
159. There are only 158 better movies than this made, according to people from IMDb.
That is bullshit.
That blows my mind because this movie is awful.
I don't mind Gran Torino. I've seen it once. Okay,
Sure.
I didn't mind it when I saw it. I was like, okay, but I can understand. I don't believe the hype of 150. No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, no.
It blows my mind. I did not enjoy that movie at all. I think it is
Go on.
every part of it is so telegraphed and predictable.
Yep.
It is movie philosophy for people that have never seen a movie before.
Right.
And
I agree with
and
that.
I found it quite unbearable.
Uh-huh.
The other one I'll mention is
two. I like two.
Yeah, just very briefly.
go for
The
it.
other one I'll mention is that I don't think much at all of the
Ooh.
first two Harry Potter films.
Oh,
I think they are
controversial.
No, I don't think that's particularly controversial.
No,
I think they are.
no,
They are easily the weakest of the franchise.
I understand. I understand why though.
They are.
They're a kids' movie. They didn't know
but
what it was going to become.
I love kids' movies,
but
though,
it's
man.
that they don't know. You just don't like Christopher Columbus. Is that it?
No, I love Christopher Columbus.
Chris Columbus.
Yeah. Oh, actually, he's made some pretty shit movies in his day.
Yeah.
No, I just think that they're
he made Rent.
fuck, that's a bad movie. No, the second one is more just a mess of choosing the wrong parts from the book to focus on.
I don't mind Chamber.
But the first one is just it's the worst things. It's the worst parts of young adult franchises for me. It's all
set up.
It's
and
all
no-
explanations.
yeah, it
It's
is.
all, here's this funny word that means this.
Yeah.
Here's this funny word that means this.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that over there? Oh,
actually-
it's a Google boogle boogle.
Yeah, yeah.
And
You can actually count the amount of times that Harry says to Hagrid, what is that?
Yeah.
Like you're like, okay, yep.
it is not a story.
No.
It is
I understand
basically
that, yeah.
it's basically one of those things that you would do at a museum where you'd walk in, welcome to Harry Potter Land. And you just go look at stuff and go,
this
that's
is the
that.
Nimbus
that's
2000.
that's the thing I remember from the book. That's the other thing I
It
remember
is.
from the book. It's
Totally
not a
is.
story.
No.
And I think it was just way too much focus on making kids go, I know that from the book,
Yeah.
and not actually telling the story in the book,
Yeah.
which is great.
Absolutely.
I love those books. I think
do
they're
agree.
beautiful.
I do agree.
So that's my
Fair deal.
they are obviously well loved, and I think
Well
it's not
done.
until the third one that any real good shit goes
Third
down.
one is my favourite.
Third one's probably my favorite.
Third one is my favourite. It's one of the worst werewolves I've ever seen, but it's up there.
Yeah,
It's definitely up there.
That's all right. What can you
Actually,
do?
yeah.
What about the other way around,
Well,
man?
this is hard for me because I don't know what
Mine's not
people
hard at all.
like. I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't know whether the people like this or not, but I've heard enough of people not liking this movie.
Sure.
So it is the Halloween. It's a remake. It's the Halloween remake by Rob Zombie.
Oh no, that's fair.
I
I'll pay
actually
that.
fucking love this movie.
Sure.
I thought it was. I understand Rob Zombie as a director. He makes quite different movies that have a horror spin, but they're his movies. They're his movies as in they're his screenplays.
Sure.
He writes them and directs them. This is the first time that he had works that wasn't his, and he tried to put his spin on it.
Yeah.
I actually like this movie quite a lot.
Yeah, I feel like if you are down for Rob Zombie,
Yeah.
you will like that movie.
Yeah.
I think if you are
If
you are really
yeah.
precious about
John Carpenter's version,
Carpenter's?
I would totally understand that.
at the end of the day, both versions exist.
Yeah.
And I
understand.
Kind of with you, man.
Yeah, I understand that it's a remake, and there are a lot of things. There are a lot of setups, which because I'm a huge Carpenter fan as well.
Yeah.
If you watch that, it still plays out perfectly. It's just there are certain things that Carpenter does that maybe Zombie didn't pay homage to enough, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but I really love it. I think it's great.
I think it's
actually one of
I think
my favorite
most
trailers. The trailer, if you watch the trailer, is hilarious because it has that last summer.
No shit.
Rob Zombie.
It might be one of the last trailers to actually use the trailer
movie
voice.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I think what most people had problems with in that was that it made people didn't want to know about Mike Myers. People didn't Michael Myers. People like Mike Myers. People like knowing about him.
People like Austin Powers.
People didn't want to know about the history of Michael Myers. They didn't want to see
it humanized
that he was
him almost
brought up, in trashy Rob Zombie.
But it was beautiful.
I swear to God,
man,
that level
start.
of hick Americana.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie has mastered that.
It's great. I love it.
That's just his bread and butter, that thing.
Devil's Rejects, man.
People just didn't need to see that. And so a lot of people kind of go, no, you've ruined the mystery of this character, blah, 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 blah. But, that's just one person's interpretation of it. Rob Zombie is a very effective filmmaker, so we can't say we can't call it a cash-in. It's not you can't call it that.
No.
Because I think he has enough artistic integrity.
But it's enough artistic input in this film. He made enough of it his own.
Oh, it's 100% a Rob Zombie film.
Yeah, it's a Rob Zombie film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And
I can say that.
Yeah, it has kind of a little part in my heart for me, because at the time that I watched this, so I think it came out 2007, I would have said
around
2008. I think I was single at the time.
Yeah, right.
That it came out.
Sure.
And I went home for Christmas, and it was just me and my brother, and we just chilled out. And he goes, "Have you seen this?" And I went, "No." And he says, "Awesome, we'll watch this." So we watched it, and it was just it was just a lovely time with my brother watching Halloween.
Oh, and that's awesome, man.
It was rad.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
what was yours, Tys?
Mine is not hard to pick at all, because this is one of my. This is. Strangely enough, one of my favorite movies of all time, and I don't understand. I can't even put a finger on why.
Oh, okay.
Other than the fact that I just love it, and it is totally tailored to Tys, or whatever it is. What do we call it?
Yeah, totally tailored for Tys.
And that is Troy.
Troy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The
Ridley Scott.
It's Wolfgang Peterson.
Wolfgang, right. Mr.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom. Eric Bana.
Yep.
Amanda
Kruger.
Is that her name?
Yeah,
Amanda Kruger.
I think it's Amanda Kruger.
I don't think it's Amanda Kruger.
Am I wrong?
It's...
Damn it, it is. Her last name's Kruger.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Come on, Googs.
Give it a Googs.
Come on, Googs. God damn it, where are you? Oh, it's Diane.
Diane Kruger, that's it.
Amanda Kruger has to do with... Nightmare on Elm Street. Keep going.
It is. It is a retelling of the legend of the Spartan War.
Yeah.
The war between Troy and the Spartans.
Yeah, with the horse,
the
wooden horse,
Trojan horse. The legend where it came from.
Yeah. Go on.
This movie, I saw it in the cinema and didn't think it was very good, right? And I walked out.
Much like Prestige.
Yeah, but then grabbed it on DVD.
Yep.
And watched it again, and suddenly found myself just completely, fixed by it.
Right.
Transfixed by it. I found the story to be super compelling. I'm a big fan of the legend. I think that legend
it's a good story.
Is I really dig that story.
And it has Achilles and Achilles heel and all that stuff.
That whole stuff is in there. Brad Pitt plays Achilles.
Yep.
Then I started to kind of find elements in it that were really interesting to me. The score, I think, is amazing, which is really interesting because, funnily enough, it's actually a replacement score. James Horner was brought in to do a quickfire and score because the original score by Gabriel Yared was deemed unsuitable. I have both versions of the score.
Wow.
And the first score is exceptionally good. I don't know why they didn't use it.
Yeah.
It just sets a weird different tone.
Okay.
The James Horner one, great too. They're both really great.
Yeah.
Wolfgang Petersen's doing this weird thing where I think he's doing a lot of throwbacks to old school epics.
Yeah, it's a lot of wide shots. I remember.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of wide shots that are kind of CGI, but he also does this thing where he's kind of he's almost like old school storytelling style. The way he frames his characters, like he gives each of them like a character shot. Where he he actually like slow-mos on them and freeze frames on them and stuff like that. Yeah. So he's doing some kind of like, he's trying to do some things. The action sequences are really quite great. Eric Bana this might be my favorite Eric Bana performance as well.
Right.
Like aside from Chopper. He's doing some really, he's just this quiet kind of, really, really proud and very understated leader of the Trojans.
Mm-hmm.
It got.
Does it go into? So Diane Kruger plays Helen.
She's
clearly Helen of Troy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go into her story at all? I remember. I don't know.
Like it's not. It's
not her story. It's not focused on her.
It's telling more of the overall story.
Okay.
It's probably Achilles is the lead, I'd say. Brad Pitt's the lead, I would guess.
Yeah.
Peter O'Toole is doing he does some wonderful stuff in this. I really like his performance. And the director's cut that was released a couple of years after the first DVD release. Even does it's half an hour longer and it is much more fleshed out and I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Got caned when it came out. This film, no one fucking liked it. It was.
I liked it. It didn't really sit on the radar for me. Like I'd maybe happily.
I think it was because
it
was going to be one of those. It was meant to be like this huge. It was. It possibly had awards buzz and everyone was calling. It was going to be the big movie of the year.
Was Gladiator before or after this?
Gladiator was well before. Yeah,
right.
This was like 2004-ish. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it came out and everyone kind of just went, oh, it was fine. And so it's one of those movies that because it had such high expectations that it didn't meet it, people just went, oh, what a piece of shit. Whereas actually I think it's amazing. And it's strangely one of my favorite films. I've watched it many, many times. I reckon I watched it once a year for about 5 or 6 years there.
Fuck.
Where I'd just grab it and be like, yep, it's time to watch Troy again.
Awesome.
I'm so pumped. I've got this big special edition box set in my collection.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do like that.
All right. We're going to move on.
We're moving on.
We're going to cross some streams. Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to add something. It
Did
didn't
it work?
work. No,
it didn't work.
Maybe I could do like a beatbox. No, I'm not going to try.
Was that your attempt at beatbox?
I can try, but I'm not going to now.
Boom,
I don't want to.
A boom, boom,
oh, that's terrible
boom,
white man beatboxing. Stop
boom,
it.
boom.
No.
Hey,
at least go like...
No, I can't do any of that shit.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go first.
Oh!
Mine is, I'm recommending something on Netflix.
Streaming.
I'm going to recommend, seeing as I bagged out a Clint Eastwood film before, I'm going to recommend a good one.
Oh, go on.
I'm going to recommend Escape from Alcatraz, 1979.
Alcatraz.
This is one of those movies.
I love the cover
directed by
of this
Don
movie.
Siegel, best known, did a lot of work with Clint Eastwood, best known for directing Dirty Harry.
Yeah, man.
This movie was, strangely enough, a movie I watched a lot when I was a kid. It was on...
Right.
It was on it was the Friday night movie a lot when I was growing up,
Yeah.
like the Channel 9 Friday night movie.
Yeah.
And whenever it came up, because it would come up pretty often, my parents would always be like, Tyson, Escape from Alcatraz is on. And I'd be like, yes. Because I loved it. I really loved it.
That is like quintessential 80s. My childhood. Nick, so-and-so's on. Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And I'd run in, I'd sit down, and it was kind of cool because I was watching a movie with mum and dad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a kid's movie. It was a real grown-ups movie.
one.
It's not really full on. Like, there's nothing that really happens in it. It's just it's based on a true story about a guy who was the last man to ever be suspected of escaping Alcatraz. They never found him.
Oh, wow.
But he disappeared, and his remains were never found. It's most people assume that he drowned,
right?
Trying to make it back.
Tried to swim back.
The movie doesn't make it in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't kind of lead you either way. But it's just it's a really fantastically put together film, exploring the method that he did eventually use.
Oh, okay.
And whether or not it was successful or not is kind of up to your own interpretation.
Was it anything close to what Sean Connery does in The Rock?
No, because there definitely wasn't any of that shit. Remember that bit where he has
The
to like
fire!
time the fire?
Yes!
Like, come on.
Yes.
No, there was none of that shit.
Yes, and he does it like he's doing this, like, you know, when
Yeah.
you try and jump into a skipping rope.
skipping rope.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go in a minute. I'm going to go in a minute.
He should have
I'm gonna
just
go in a
cooked
minute.
up like immediately, and that should have been.
Welcome to the Rock.
I fucking love The Rock.
I love the Rock.
It's a really
Nice.
great performance. It's wonderfully directed, very understated.
What
Directed
year?
Don Siegel.
What year was
1979.
79.
It's on Netflix. I haven't watched it for about probably 10 years, and
Wow.
I've added it to my Netflix queue, and
Yeah.
I cannot wait to watch it again.
I need to do a lot of early Clint. I haven't watched any dollar westerns. I haven't seen any of them.
Sure, no, me
I
neither.
haven't done any Dirty Harrys.
I've done 4 of the 5 Dirty Harrys.
4 of the 5.
Yeah,
So
just
he's done
recently.
nothing. Yeah.
Just recently I got into
Yeah.
them.
But I did recently watch what was jeez, Nick, you suck. Tom Hanks lands a plane on the Hudson.
Sully.
Sully. I just recently watched that, which I realised was a Clint
Eastwood directed. Yeah, he had a stint where I was a huge fan of his direction, but I've kind of gone a bit cold on him.
I
of
think he
recent
peaked
efforts.
at Mystic River, and I think Mystic River was absolutely 100% Oscar picture worthy. I think that should have won.
Yeah, he had
$1 Million Baby for me was another one of those. Everyone loved it, and I didn't.
I
thought it was like,
I
dude,
absolutely
what the
adored
fuck?
$1 Million Baby.
No.
I thought it was
But the
wonderful.
ending, I was like, what the fuck is going on? So she
That's-
landed
that's
on
my-
a stool?
It's my
What
thing
the
with
fuck?
sports. It's my thing
Oh,
with
it's a
sports movies.
thing, yeah. My Crossing the Streams
Mhm.
is... I don't know if this is seen. I don't know if a lot of people have seen this. It came out 2002, so this is around the time of Matrix Reloaded. I believe this was straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Or straight to... What are we saying? Straight to tape?
Direct to video.
Direct to video. We're keeping that.
Yeah.
Equilibrium.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah, 2002. Christian Bale and Christian
Tay Diggs.
Tay Diggs. That's it. I love Tay Diggs.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Yeah, man.
Angus McFadden.
Oh, good one. Yeah, well done.
I like this movie.
Angus McFadden. How good is this
Directed
movie?
by Kurt Wimmer. Wimmer, because
Oh.
he's German. Kurt Wimmer.
Yeah, but he hasn't done that. Like Total Recall sucked. Like his remake of Total Recall.
He
But
didn't
anyway,
direct that.
didn't he?
No.
I'm pretty sure he did.
No.
No?
He might have. I think he wrote.
Oh no, he wrote it. But yeah, Equilibrium. If you haven't seen it, what can I say about this? It's set in the very, very far future where any form of feeling is illegal, and so everyone takes a pill every morning to it's not that great. Like the storyline is pretty thin.
It's a
but
loose concept.
It's
like-
very thin.
It's one of those kind of like
To overthrow the system. We're going to overthrow
it's
the
this
system.
Dystopian.
You know?
It's an excuse to create a dystopian society that
Yeah.
really, if you think about it, is like really,
Yeah,
really that
yeah.
doesn't hold up.
But to be honest, it's
not about that shit.
It's not about that. It's about the gun cutter
Gun Carter.
that is badass. They literally turn their guns. Not even they use them, and it's shots, and it's beautiful.
Well, yeah,
to
it's.
watch.
I mean, for those, imagine what we're saying. Gun Carter.
Gun cutter. Yeah,
It
It's
was a created martial art for the film
Yeah.
that is basically
sword fighting with guns.
Yeah, I'll
with
pay
two
that.
guns, not just one.
Yeah.
Oh, there are one sometimes.
Yeah, not even sword. It's more than sword fighting. It's like
Gun fu.
gun fu. Yeah.
Like that's how badass it is.
It's
Like,
pretty crazy to watch.
We don't. Yeah, we're not doing it any justice at all. But this movie. Is
No, it's
awesome to watch.
it's got some really great moments in it. If you can kind of ignore
Get
the
over
fact
the-
that it's
thin
pretty
storyline.
lame, pretty cheesy. It's got some pretty bonkers action sequences.
Who's
And
the
it's super
guy that
easily
turns
watchable.
him? What's the guy? It's not Sean. Who's the guy who tells him to? No, it's gone. Oh, William Fichtner.
William Fichtner.
Fichtner.
Oh, I love him.
I love him. How
him.
good is he?
Do you know what I really like him in?
Yeah, go on.
Drive Angry.
I haven't seen that.
The 3D
The
movie with
Mel Gibson?
Nick Cage, where he's like he plays like he's got like a classic old fucking Charger and he's running away from the devil and shit.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, it's great. He escapes hell. It's
He's so
fucking
good.
wild, man.
He's
It's
so
just
good.
wild.
I love him. But yeah, Equilibrium. It is on Netflix.
Good.
Give it a watch.
Yeah, man.
Just
If you're an action movie fan, you probably want to be all over this. Considering we
Exactly.
were talking about some crazy action scenes before.
Yeah.
It's an early 2000s?
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah, and so
Me
it's
and-
pretty impressive.
Me and my
some of
housemates
stuff
at the
that
time
it
when this
does.
came out, this was when I was still working. I was studying acting at Ballarat Uni, so I was working at the video store at the same time.
Sure.
So I'd come home with the preview tapes that we used to get. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
And this was one of them. And we ran this tape into the ground. It was badass. That's right. We were still using VHS tapes back
I
then.
think I might have watched this on a VHS
Yeah.
for the first time.
I'm pretty
Definitely.
sure I still have the VHS tape.
I think I've got it too. I think I bought it like fucking X rental.
Oh no, I kept the preview.
The preview ones.
Yeah.
No, I never, because I didn't like it because they didn't come with boxes. Box
Oh,
cover
you
art.
wanted the box cover up.
Yeah, always,
Totally up
mate.
for that.
Always.
Totally up for that.
All right, well, that's going to wrap us up for today, folks.
That's it for Nick Tyson Videotape,
Yeah,
people.
man, you can find us all over
Find
the
us all over
webs.
the place.
Facebook,
please,
Twitter,
please
YouTube. Subscribe on
talk
iTunes.
to us. Tell us what you like.
Yeah, and hey, share the page amongst your friends.
Yeah, tell us your name.
Let's get some communication going.
Follow us on Facebook. Go on, do it.
Yeah, and
And-
thanks to
and-
Peter J again for the cool question.
Peter J, you're a champ.
We really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun to chat about.
Your friend is not a champ though. He likes a
Terminator
shitty
Salvation.
Terminator Salvation
Jesus.
before Terminator 1.
That's weird.
that's
Maybe he's like 14. Let's
Go on.
next week.
Ooh, next week.
We're
We're going to hit a soft spot, ladies and gentlemen.
We
We are
are.
going to do a movie that many people have seen.
definitely
A lot of the
Do you know
female
who
variety.
hasn't seen it?
But one person that hasn't is my good friend Tyson.
I have
And
not
that's
seen
why
this movie.
we're going to pluck this out. If Tyson's going to pick a Van Damme, I'm going to go the exact opposite. And the exact opposite would be The Notebook.
Yeah, we're going to talk about The Notebook.
The Notebook.
We're going to swoon over Gosling.
Yeah, man. Swoon over Gosling.
And watch the film that started a trend of Nicholas Sparks adaptations,
Absolutely.
none of which were any good.
have
apparently.
come up to the standard.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we'll see you then, guys.
See you
Thanks,
then,
Nick. It was
peeps.
good fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.